Yard, baby. DEI love. Go JSU football.
Great day to be a Tiger. JSU by 40 campaign. Coach Taylor, I was just thinking, I was sitting in my office and we were talking about Jackson State athletics, the tradition of Jackson State. You played here. What if 50,000 alums gave $40 a month for 12 months?
Man, that would be huge. That's money in the bank for
Hey,
athletic
well,
program.
let's do this, Coach. I'm challenging all 50,000 alumni of Jackson State University, supporters, fans. Let's give $40 a month to JSU by 40 campaign. 12 months, 12 million, September to August. Let's win championships in the classroom. Let's support Jackson State University. Let's support athletics. And let's make sure our coaches and our student athletes are successful. So again, Coach Taylor and I are challenging you, all 50,000 alums, $40 a month for 12 months to support Jackson State athletics. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Support the JSU by 40 campaign. Visit gojsutigers.com/JSU by 40.
What's going on, everybody? What up, big dog? What's up with you, brother?
What's up, pimpin'? What's up, DEI Love family?
Yes, sir, man. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate that. My sister Shanetta, as always, man. We got one additional thing. Join the channel. Just gonna come right from the onset. One of the things I did, Zoe, yesterday, you may not be aware of, is that made some changes to the channel slightly. You know, we're pushing membership. We asking that, you know, you join the channel. All old episodes, all the old live streams, all exclusive content, it's going to be moved over to members, man. So if we, you know, you'll get what's been up here since 2024, but any of the old stuff, any of the old lives, we did a lot, man. We did a lot over the last year and a half. So, you know, if it don't mean nothing to you, cool. But, you know, if you want to go back and scroll some of that content, you know, since, 2022, since we've been actually messing around with this YouTube stuff, man. Yeah. So whatever, any level, it doesn't really matter. So like, share, subscribe, and join. But happy Wednesday, everybody, man. Looking forward to tonight's show. Another special guest in the building. Got a good one tonight, man. Got a good one. I'm looking forward to having big brother on. You know, we got a fellow JSU alum joining us tonight, man. Mr. Jason. Or should I say Professor Jason? Or should I say Pastor Jason? Should I say Author J? Like Jason Gibson tonight, man. It's gonna be a treat. Just a bolt of energy, man. Buckle your seatbelts up, man, as we get ready to bring him on. We bring him on at the 15-minute mark. But before that, we always like to get a couple preliminaries in, man. What's been on your mind? What's been up with you?
Hey, man. So what, third or fourth practice today?
Today was practice number 3.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Practice number 3.
Yep.
Man, another day in the books, man. Team looking good, moving fast, man. Got some other things we won't get into, like we mentioned earlier about, you know, the first time in history receiving votes for, you know, being in the AP Top 25. We got a very special coach, just so happen to be the #1 ranked coach in the country, you know, actually coming to give Coach Rick kudos.
Hold tight on that. Hold tight, because I don't want to just skate over that.
Hold on. We're gonna get back to it.
We got that on the doc. I want to spend some time on that. That's why.
Trust me, it's worth it. That's what's going on. What up, TD?
What's up, TD?
Man, just a lot, man, going on again in the land of JSU, man, and we're just getting started. Still on that high from beating Memphis in softball. Multiple sports, man. Baseball still doing what it's doing. Winning record there.
Yep.
Softball doing what they're doing. So again, it's just across the board, man. We're not a one-trick pony. We do this. We're sitting at 170 championships. We just got another one. So,
oh yeah,
rolling, bro.
TD, what's up with you, brother?
Hey, how y'all fellas doing?
Man, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, man. Yeah, we got a great show tonight.
Nation, what's good, man?
How you doing, man? You gotta get you another quarterback. How you doing?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm leaving it to the hands of the people with the big bucks, baby. All I can do is cheer.
Hey, we're gonna see where Brother Wilson decides to park his residency at over next season, man. But
he probably going to Pittsburgh, man.
I think we kind of got a good idea where he's going.
Where you going? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh said they don't want him.
Ooh.
Somebody reported that Pittsburgh said they didn't want him, but I don't know.
You can't go by no reports right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
I know they ain't trying to stick with no Mason Rudolph and no damn Kenny Pickett. So if they are, they trying to lose. I got too much respect for Coach Mike Tomlin to believe that he willing to die out on that hill, bro. So now I don't know about that one. And anyway, what's good, Freddie G? Hey man, I appreciate that, brother. My came in today. Hey man, shout out to Merch Pack, man. All the shirts should be going out, the ones from the pre-order. So if you pre-order the shirt, those will start hitting that. They'll start hitting this week. So appreciate everybody, man. We'll tally up the inventory of what's left over. We'll have some more kid sizes, and then we'll release that out again to those that's out there. Somebody said Fields. Chicago they ain't know what to do with Justin Fields.
Yeah, they messing with his own, man.
It's silly season.
Yeah,
I watch too much NFL. Y'all believe reports. Justin Fields ain't going nowhere.
Justin Fields ain't going nowhere from Chicago.
Gonna be in Chicago.
Man, you crazy as hell. Let me tell you like this right here, bro.
Okay.
If Chicago don't draft Caleb Williams, everybody over there need to be fired.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
I don't want to hear nothing about these jokers coming on talking about Caleb Williams ain't special. I don't want to hear it. Y'all had plenty of time to get Justin Fields right. You ain't been able to develop him. It's a bad mix, but whatever. We'll get into that at another time.
I think we take it for your favorite quarterback.
Who?
Who's your favorite collegiate quarterback right now, bro?
My favorite collegiate quarterback is Shedeur Sanders.
There it is.
Shedeur Sanders, man. That's it. Hey, listen. Whoever gets Shedeur Sanders next season, dog, is gonna be good for a long time. That's just my opinion. I don't care what you think, how you feel about it. Look at that right there. Chicago going to Chicago to go 3.
Justin Fields gonna be a Chicago Bear.
Hey, you know what, man? I got an idea, y'all. We're gonna mess around. We're gonna have an NFL show one of these days. We're gonna just say, all right, we're gonna park the JSU talk for about a good hour. And we're gonna let everybody come up here and talk about, we're doing for the NFL draft. We remember Blue was on here with us for was on here for 7 damn hours.
Before we do that, we want to have at least prior to that 10 minutes. Everybody state your claim of who your team is, because Float be flip-flopping on
Dang, don't they?
They be flip-flopping on NFL team.
I got one for y'all. Y'all ask for it. We're gonna do a KC-1400 Media Fantasy League. Boom, shakalaka.
I don't know about all that, man.
We doing it, TD. Come on now.
I'm never playing fantasy football. I don't
play it either. I ain't good at it, but folks been asking me about it. Now, we ain't gambling now. We ain't doing no gambling. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. I don't gamble. I don't gamble my money. I work too hard for the little few coins I got. But I think we can pull off a nice little league. I got it. Somebody that knows about it, just hit me up and walk me through it. Matter of fact, you can take the lead on it. We can take the lead on it. We'll have a live draft. Have some fun with it, man. He's like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Oh,
Man,
no, I ain't never played. No, you had those, man.
yo, for real, we'll learn together, dog. I don't play fantasy football. I ain't even really. I don't even care about it enough to do that because but I will. I will.
It's addictive.
It is.
Is it?
It's hell addictive.
So how do you root against your Bears?
At
your
that point, you have your own team.
You just
Well, I
answer
don't
your own
players.
You just answer your
Then
own
you
question.
get
You're
your
not rooting
players,
against the
how they
team.
perform from week to week.
So literally, you're gonna be watching the game. Well, I'm gonna give you an idea, TD. You're gonna be watching the Broncos play. You're gonna be rooting for your team. But if you got a player that's playing against your Broncos, you're gonna want him to get off but lose.
That's my point. I don't like that.
I mean,
In other words, TD, what you want is you want him to get all the way down to the goal line and get a lot of stats, but don't score.
No, you gonna want him to score. You want your player to have a good game, but his team to lose.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Well, that's a lot.
No, it's not. Look, you have an imaginary team that you're the GM of.
I guess we're gonna have to. We're gonna have a.
So you're a GM. You're a general manager of a major league team, and it's yours. And you're gonna have these players. So in real life, your team is playing, but you got two players playing your team, and that's just for one game, though.
Okay.
he said, Bully said, never bet or pick your team. Keep your feelings out.
That is rule number one.
Players, though. This is more about players. You get some defenses. You get to choose a defense. You get to choose a quarterback, couple of running backs. You got to have a couple of bench players. It's a strategy to it.
Listen, that what right there, what that was highlighted right there, that's fantasy football version of don't get high on your own supply.
Right.
You going after your players, you're gonna be double so. You're gonna be double mad. You're gonna be mad that you lost in real life. You're gonna be mad that the guy ain't doing nothing for it.
Hey, Zoe, I don't think I'm big on this Cortland Sutton rumor though. I don't know if I'm big on letting them go though. I like Cortland Sutton.
Huh?
Cortland Sutton, they talking about letting them go, man. There's a rumor on it.
I mean, dog, you can't fall in love with players, dog.
Well, I mean, the Broncos need to let a lot go, but if y'all gonna tank for Shador, you need to go and just suffer to be so for 2024. And yeah. But anyway, we'll come back to that, man. Like I said, we got a special guest tonight, y'all. We got Mr. Jason Smith coming up to join us. He'll be joining us at in a little bit. We'll give him time to click the link and come on up. Miss Rochelle will be joining us tonight at some point. No, I don't know if Mark is working. Shout out to brother Nook out there in them trains.
You got to finish your question, baby.
What's that?
I was saying, she said, Zoe, how did it FE? I was saying, you got to finish your question.
Lord Cheyenne.
Skylar
Cheyenne. Okay. I'm almost afraid. Though, how did it? What are you? You drunk? Never mind. It's like how you got a bad connection through text,
right? Like the keyboard ran out of ink or something.
You got a bad connection.
Who said right out of ink though?
That's a good one. Yes, indeed, man. To see the problem.
To see the problem sack field.
James.
He didn't sack him this year. That was last year. It was all good.
If James was hurt most last year, he didn't play too well.
That was last season. It's all good. That was his rookie season.
There you go, Jason.
It didn't hurt too bad. We suck.
In the chat, Jason be joining us here in just a second. I just dropped the link in the chat.
He didn't just sack him. He had a sack fumble and recover against Justin Fields.
We'll come back to it, y'all. We'll come back to it, man. But yeah, man, we got like I said, we'll go ahead and add our special guest, man. We got a lot that we do want to talk about preliminarily. We may even go through our preliminaries with our guests. Coming up to join us, like I said, we got Professor Tougaloo College, Pastor Jackson Revival Center, and author, Mr. Jason Gibson. Well, who the hell is Jason Smith, man?
I don't know.
Play
Is that,
football.
hold on, who that is? I just look. Okay, never mind. Jason Gibson, brother Gibson. Here you go right now, man. Let's go ahead and add him to the stream, and we'll get him in here. I'll wait till he get his camera on, and then we'll get started. There he is. There the man go, man. What's going on? How you doing, Doc?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, man.
Good evening, sir.
How you
know
doing?
what? I see what y'all doing, but I'm gonna keep it appropriate.
What we doing, though?
What's happening, Jew?
Man, I'm so sorry for my tardiness.
Don't pay no attention to him. Hey, no, listen, no, it's no worries at all, man. Man, first of all, I'm gonna start this one off. How you doing, brother? Because I know you had a little setback, man. How your Achilles?
Man, I'm coming along good. This is 5 weeks post-op, and no, man, I'm making steady progress. Both of my doctors, I decided to go with a physical therapist outside of who did my surgery. So with that in mind, both of them say I'm progressing really well. So, man, just trusting the process. But I'm getting a lot of much needed think time during this time.
So were you hooping? Because now I'm scared to go back to the league, man. I was on the phone with who was on the phone? I was on the phone with TD yesterday, and I'm outside the bank, and I see a brother getting out his car, go to the ATM machine, right? And he's he got the sleeves on, he got the knee pads, he got the sweat going down his back, and I said, this brother looked like he just got finished hooping. And I'm like, hey, big dog, how you doing, man? I know you ain't trying to be weird. I say, hey, man, where you hooping at? He's like, oh, man, it's 24-hour fitness. I was like, oh, man, what time? I got to get the run time because I used to hoop every single week, 3 times a week in Austin. And, man,
Hey, Ken?
Lifetime Fitness.
Ken, if you run across a brother that got all that stuff on, you might not want to play.
But one thing he did say they gave me a little hope, though, TD. He said they play half court. I was like, you know what? Now you talking my language. Now I might get out there and do a little half court for a little while. But go ahead, brother. I didn't mean to jump in there. Steal your thunder.
Oh, no, man, you're fine. So yeah, I was hooping when I did it. And so
see what tell me you crossed them over, whoever it was.
No, see what had happened was it was y'all know Professor Tougaloo. This was Tougaloo's homecoming week. That was the last week of January. And this was the faculty versus students basketball game. Now, disclaimer, anybody knows me, follow me on social media, I am very active. I work out 4 to 6 times a week. However, I don't hoop that much anymore just because I don't really have the time to, I don't have the opportunity. And there's not many places around here. I'm not gonna lie, this is no shot at the current generation, but I don't really like hooping with them. They don't play defense. They pull everything from the timeline. They dribble too much. And it's like they don't mind taking L's. So
I hate it.
It's hard for me to find somewhere.
I see that. I see that.
It's hard for me to find somewhere. But I work out all the time. We were in the game. And literally, it happened when there was 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now, I got to admit, I was doing a little too much because, Ken, you played basketball. Yeah. It's a groove game. It's a momentum game. So I was chilling in the first half.
You were feeling it.
I didn't even score in the first half. Second half,
good.
Third quarter, 10 points. I figure out I still got a little bounce.
I'm coming around. I'm feeling it.
I figured out I still got a little bounce. So I dunked one time. I'm like, it's over.
You put it in the rim. Okay.
Yeah. It got to 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We were up. The faculty, we were beating the students by 8 points. And basketball environments, the students, they ain't never seen me in this capacity, so they just gassed me up. Professor Gibson, so I'm letting it get to my head just a little bit. There was 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We were up 8 points, and literally, it happened. It was a freak accident. I was literally just dribbling the ball back just to stall some time. My dribble back, I stepped on my right foot. And it literally felt like somebody punched me in the back of my leg, like punched me in my calf muscle. And I just immediately fell. To the point where I thought, for 2 days straight, I was like, man, who ran into me? But they was like, man, ain't nobody run into you. And I felt the pop, I heard the pop. So when I went to, and I walked off the floor. I waited till the game ended. I pulled a Kobe. I walked back and shot my free throws. Like I walked back on the floor and I took the picture. Then I walked in my car. I drove to Mississippi Sports Medicine. So I'm just thinking, man, ankle sprain, something like that. And basically she was like, she did a little test, little pop. She was like, yeah, your Achilles is torn. I was like, wait, lady, my Achilles is not torn. So I went to the actual specialist the next day, and she confirmed it. So literally 2 days after it happened, I went on, had surgery, and I just got out of my cast, got in the boot last week. I started physical therapy this week. So man, it's a process. But one thing I can say, I've not been discouraged, depressed. Not one time in this process have I asked God why. Because I absolutely believe he's intentional in everything he does.
Absolutely.
If you don't sit down, he'll find a way to sit you down.
That's right.
So yeah.
What's your recovery timeline?
Go ahead.
You said what now?
So what's your recovery timeline?
Oh man, so it's a 6 to 9 month complete recovery.
Okay.
Now I'm just trying to start back walk because y'all know what I do. I'm a speaker. I'm a consultant. So I had to cancel all of my engagements for the month of February, which means I took a huge loss. And then so I was going to cancel my engagement for the month of March, but I was like, man, I can't keep losing. So I'm going to be in North Carolina A&T next Monday. And I was like, look, I figured out I'd roll on that plane or something. But yeah, man, it's a 6 to 9 month complete recovery. And but I should be back in the shoe, at least walking by the end of this month, actually.
Hey, Professor Gibson, I felt that same pop. So don't laugh now. I felt that same pop a few years ago playing racquetball. I used to love me some racquetball, man. Ooh. But man, I went for that low blow. Man, that thing pop. I just laid out. So I understand what you mean when you say pop. It felt like just a ball just
man,
it was over.
Over. And I knew. It literally felt like when I got up, it felt like on my right foot I was walking on nothing. And it wasn't pain. And that's what my doctor said. She said, you drove here? Like walk back on the court? She was like, you have a high tolerance for pain. I was like, no, it ain't hurt like that. I just knew something wasn't right. So yeah, man, just kind of processing that and staying busy. As long as I have a laptop, I'm good. So I definitely been staying as busy as I was pre-injury.
Yeah, man. I that was that's a tough one, man. Achilles is the one that you're afraid of. We were watching the Super Bowl. Who was that? Greenlaw. I think that was his.
Right on the field.
Running out on the field, man.
Kevin Durant too. Remember how he was?
Klay Thompson. The list goes on and on, man. When that Kobe, that Achilles is an ugly injury, because it's one of them things that, like you said, it's athletes. Even athletes gonna take you about 6 to 9, all the way 100%.
Right.
For them, it's almost like a year because they got to use it. They try not to lose their shape and they'll get back in shape. The biggest problem with that, and I say this and we can move on, is that usually when you're doing that, it's the other side of the body that actually gives out next. So usually them Achilles, you gotta be careful. Them Achilles is followed behind by them ACLs on the opposite leg, and because you tend to overcompensate. So that's kind of the thing that you always got to be mindful of, man. But let's jump right into it, man. Again, we appreciate you for joining us, man. I think one good place to start. I know we had you on one time last year. You had an opportunity, man, to go and speak with Go JSU Tigers football team, man. Let's start there because you say you're going to be at A&T next week, just so everyone can kind of understand who you are. Before we even do that, how about you just give an official introduction with your title, and then we'll expand. You got a lot going on. But under your actual listing, this is what you had. Professor at Tougaloo College, touch on that, pastor at Jackson Revival Center, and then we're gonna definitely spend some time with the with your latest book, and we'll put that up here in just a second. But we'll start there, so that the fan, the supporters of the channel, maybe they weren't watching at that time, and now they know who you are.
Right. Well, yeah, brief introduction. My name is Jason Gibson, born and raised native of Jackson, Mississippi. Attended John Hopkins Elementary, Northwest Jackson Middle School, Callaway High School. Went on to play basketball at Holmes Community College. Then I graduated from there and went to Jackson State University, finished my bachelor's at Jackson State in social sciences with a focus in secondary education. I finished up at Jackson State and I went straight into the school system. I taught 7th grade social studies, my first at the age of 22, right out of undergrad. I taught at Blackburn Middle School. I figured out Blackburn will try you like no other. So I figured out that first year that I didn't want to stay in K-12, but I did in education. And it wasn't necessarily the students, y'all. I love the students, the instruction mechanisms. But it was more the system, the disciplinary system. You know, there's no way that a child should be able to literally flat foot cuss me out and be back in my class the next day. You know, that's just my conviction. So yeah. I just had issues with the systems that govern the school that I was at. So, you know, with that said, I just kept going. I started working at Jackson State. I continued my master's in history with the focus in civil rights history at Jackson State. And currently I'm pursuing my doctorate, 1 year away from receiving my doctorate at the University of Southern Mississippi. Currently, the youth and young adult pastor at Jackson Revival Center Church, where my pastor is Jennifer Beard. Also, I'm the department chair and assistant professor at Tougaloo College in the Department of History. Along with that, I'm a student leadership consultant. I get the opportunity to travel to a lot of really cool places and talk and motivate and inspire. I specialize in student athletics, first generation students, and Greek life. So, you know, that's been an amazing experience over the last 2-3 years. And that's in a nutshell who I am.
That's a lot, man. You know, it's a pleasure to have you on, brother, for real, man. When you get ready, that's right, Akwe. What a heck of a resume. That's right. So talk to us. Let's start there. Let's start with you say you're heading out to North Carolina A&T and you kind of canceled all your different engagements. I guess a good question would be, how often are you moving around monthly? Just pre-Achilles injury.
Oh, pre-Achilles injury. At minimum, I think I'm up to about 4 to 5 engagements a month. Maximum, I've had as many as about 15 to 20 engagements in 1 month. Wow. So a lot of this stuff is like back to back to back. So that might be like the hardest thing. Case in point, today I had a virtual lecture with or virtual keynote with the University of California. And that revolved around, it was titled Tokenism to Transformation. And basically revolving around diversity, equity, and inclusion. But it's like taking that hat off, and then next week I'll be with Tuskegee University's baseball team, and that's more motivational, inspirational. So it's just like a lot of this stuff runs back to back. So I try to always make sure that I'm ingesting things that will expand my knowledge base. Because I've never wanted to be that person that. Now, of course, I regurgitate or I repeat content, but I never wanted to be that person that just kind of rides on one piece of content for a whole year or something. So, yeah, man, it's usually at minimum 4 to 5 a month, maximum about 15 a month.
Damn. I'll jump on in here. Hey, look, check this out. Before we go any further, it said, Miss Bunny said, I remember when you were a kid at Callaway. I'm so proud of you. You and your brother attended Callaway with my daughter, Maria, and Monique Smith.
Oh, I attended with Monique Smith.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for that.
Hey, I'll start off, Professor Gibson. Let me ask you, with you being a history teacher, with the laws and stuff that they're trying to pass in Florida, you know, and I know you had a historically Black college. So, I mean,
watch it. TD, watch it. I'm telling you, I can stay on topics like this all night.
Hey, I was going to go there. TD didn't go there. I was going there because you just said diversity, equity, and inclusion. We got to go there. But go ahead, TD. Come on, get that thing out. I know where you're going. Come on with it.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to know How do you feel about that with them trying to take everything out? First of all, the correct history wasn't taught from the beginning, you know.
Absolutely.
And then the little that was taught, they trying to take out, you know, and now they saying all this weird stuff about slavery, you know, people chose to be in slavery and you know all this. So just tell me, how do you feel about that right now? What are you teaching your students? And when you in a diverse setting, how do you address that?
So I'll start with how I teach my students. One, I'm absolutely not on board with obliterating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in higher ed institutions because I think we have to lend ourselves, especially when students are paying us to come to our school. They are the consumer. So with that in mind, we have to do everything that we know to do to provide equitable education, equitable environments for them. So with that in mind, those DEI programs are one of the catalysts to getting that done. With my students, it's always so interesting when I kind of like open their minds. And I always implore most students that come to my class, they always, 98% of them are like, this is just a requirement. History is so boring. So I take it as a personal challenge to make history interesting for them. So one thing that I love to do is to connect dots, get them to understand that our history informs our present. So I'll find a real world, real life situation for them. Something like at HBCUs, we always complain about the financial aid takes too long, the lines are too long. And I'm not trying to escape blame from HBCUs because there's some accountability that needs to be warranted there. However, we cannot talk about that without talking about what led up to that. Let's talk about in 1619, the first Africans come on U.S. soil in Jamestown, Virginia. The first Africans come from Africa to America. They are sold into slavery. From 1619 to 1865, or 1863 rather, with emancipation, I would argue 65 with the ending of the Civil War. When you're talking about that time, that's 246 years that Black people are not even considered people. They're considered property. So let's take that even a step further. Let's put it in the context of higher ed institutions. The first higher ed institution that was an Ivy League institution, which was Harvard. Harvard came into existence in 1636. Does anybody know when the first HBCU was founded? 1837, Cheney University. You're talking about 200 plus years where you have white PWIs, institutions, that they are building their institutions. They are creating wealth. They are creating resources. They are creating different circumstances and outs for their students. 200-year head start that the first HBCU, the first college that is dedicated to educating African Americans, is not founded until 200 plus years later. So when we talk about modern day, when we talk about why is the financial aid line so long at Tougaloo College? Well, this is an issue of resources that dates back to years ago. Tougaloo comes into fruition in 1869. So you're talking about almost 250 years that white institutions are flourishing, that they are going through their trial and error moments, that they are going through all of these different circumstances, growing their institutions, that you don't even have HBCUs in existence. So when we look at a Brown University that has a $6.9 billion endowment, or a Mississippi State, let's bring it closer home, a Mississippi State University that has approximately $800 million endowment versus a Jackson State that only has, I believe, like a $70 million endowment. Like, we've got to look at that in the back. Mississippi State didn't integrate until 1965. That means some of y'all mamas and grandmamas could not go to that school.
That's right.
So we can't talk about this like it's so distant, so apart from us. All of these current circumstances that we find ourselves in, they come from compounding situations that have happened over hundreds of years. So it's not I know we're pissed off because we can't get our refund as quick as everybody else. But when you're battling a school with an $800 million endowment or $6.9 billion endowment versus a school with a $10 million endowment that doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the equity, doesn't have the land acquisitions by which we can hire enough people to accommodate your needs, this is a deeper issue. So if we don't teach this and we are continuing to implement these programs like completely obliterating DEI programs or trying to take critical race theory out of schools, when we are doing this, we are just trying to distance ourselves from the inevitable, distance ourselves from a history that we cannot deny.
That's correct.
But like I said, I'll stop there. I'm telling you, I can go all day on this.
No, go ahead, Zoe. Jump on in there. I got.
No, I mean, you actually touched on what I wanted to ask, but I mean, with the climate of just everything, man, and you being, you know, where you are, even with what's going on with what it got turned down with regards to, you know, the whole proposal of possibly shutting down schools. I mean, where do you actually see the climate? Like, what progress, or do you forecast any type of progress within the state? You know what I'm saying? Moving forward.
Zoe, I'm sorry, it went out. I didn't catch the beginning.
No, I was saying the climate in which we're in, when we talk about specifically what's happening within the state of Mississippi with the bill, possibly trying to even, you know, talk about closure of some schools. Like, what positive change do you see even coming down the pipeline, you know, in the certain climate that we're in right now?
Well, the number one positive thing that I see in the climate that we're in right now is the power in us mobilizing, the power in us speaking up, because as I'm sure y'all saw, the announcement came out that they are not putting that bill on the floor. You cannot get me, you cannot convince me that if Jackson State alumni, Mississippi Valley alumni, Alcorn alumni were not in an uproar, causing all this chaos via social media, calling our elected officials, you can't convince me to believe that happens if we don't actually speak up. So I think that's one of the positive things that we're seeing. The other positive thing that I'm seeing is I'm starting to see, I don't know what the give back numbers look like, but I'm just starting to see a lot of momentum and pride in how we support our institution. Jackson State, man, you can't go hardly anywhere without somebody making mention of Jackson State, somebody, you know, just kind of glorifying everything that we're doing, man. And everybody is kind of, we are doing some amazing things. Coach Reed, the Boom, Coach TC, like we have been really creating some momentum. So that's the positive I see, just the power in mobilization, the power in us actually getting together and seeing that when we unite under this collective voice, we can actually move and shake some stuff.
Yeah, that's absolutely the way that we attack all of this. I put this up when you were going. I do want to read it. It's from Representative Fabian Nelson. Stated, I'm pleased to share that the Senate Bill 2726 has died in committee, which was the expectation. Our team has been actively working against the bill since it's been introduced. It is crucial that we maintain the momentum of economic growth in Mississippi, and any potential university closures would be detrimental to our process. I remain committed to opposing any legislation that may impede the growth and success of our state. So basically, they just basically stating that it died in committee, which Senator Hillman Frazier did give a statement saying, hey, it wouldn't make it up for vote. It was going to, but it definitely, I felt like this was also something that Brother C. Lee touched on when he came up at one point. I also feel like it was a diversionary tactic to put us in an uproar, make our attention go over here, while the real intent was to try to take over the water that the government sent over to try to fix the water in the state of Mississippi. I mean, in the city of Jackson, which you got a lot of folks trying to get their hands on that over $1.23 billion that's sent to the city to try to actually fix the problem that we've been dealing with since we all been kids in the city of Jackson. But I won't stop there. I'll just keep rolling. When it comes to that, I'll go back a little bit, Jason, with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, because I mean, we touched on something on, I don't know if you saw it on Monday. Emmitt Smith kind of came out, was kind of forced to come out because he, you know, they was using this is in accordance to TD's question. University of Florida basically eradicated all their programs. And the reason you have to take notice to them programs is because once you find, all you need is a precedent. All you need is someone to actually give others an example of what it looks like to do it. And next thing you know, that starts happening. Now you got Alabama trying to do the same thing. And I think what's going to eventually happen is that they're going to force a lot more Black prominent alums from an athletic standpoint to try to basically tell these athletes, because the athletes are the cream of the crop at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we understand these educational institutions are what they are, but athletics is where the money is really rolling in at. When you look at, because there are some institutions that was just operating at a deficit, but if you go into this big conference athletically, due to these TV deals and stuff like that, you're really able to change the trajectory of your budgets, change the trajectory of the money that you got coming in, because you're now paired to a conference that's tied to a big revenue generating streaming or TV deal. It's all a big game of monopoly at the end of the day. And yet at the same time, to your point, we're going to have to keep that thing going. I do like the example of us collaboratively working together to go about it. But a lot of these programs came about as a result historically of our ancestors coming before us and actually fighting that good fight that led to those programs to be created in the first place. But now we can't be lax and we can't fall asleep at the wheel and just let everything that they worked so hard and even died for to be just erased right in front of us. And in essence, I just think we need to give a damn, you know what I mean? And not just be so caught up in what individualism and what affects me and mine, me, myself, and I. As long as me and my house good, I'm good. To hell with the well-being of the overall group. So in light of that, I guess I would just kind of keep it rolling and get your thoughts on just how do we expand on. I'm big on group economics. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know that. I want to get your thoughts on that and just kind of find out if that's something that you include in your messaging and kind of speak to us and kind of shape that, your thoughts on that and kind of what your perspective is on how we can organize even better and expand on what we're doing.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely a proponent of it. And group economics is the way. If we look at it from an economic standpoint, money circulates in the white or Jewish community for 30 days before it goes outside of the community. It circulates in the Asian community for 21 days within the community before it goes out of the community. Wow. Money only circulates in the Black community for 6 hours before we take our dollar to another community. So when you look at that from a compounding standpoint, how will we ever get to a place of equality with the other races, other ethnicities? Like it's compounded. We got to keep our dollar within. And I understand, that comes with a lot of ramifications. We have to consider, like I said, from 1619, when the first Africans get here, to 1865 with the ending of the Civil War, is 246 years where Black people are not even considered humans. You got another 1865 to 1964, 99 years, where you're dealing with Jim Crow, Black Code, Civil Rights Movement, housing ramifications where you're giving people, redlining, these subprime loans where you're giving them these enormously high interest rates where they can never own homes. So when you're considering all this, we have to make these considerations when we're looking at our current state right now. So that's what I mean when I say, that comes with ramifications. We can only support us to an extent, but we have to prioritize supporting us as much as we can. So where you see that you can sow into a Black resource as opposed to another one, and they perform or operate at nearly or at the same level, like you got to bite that bullet and overcome that comfort, because comfort and growth would never go together. Either you want to be comfortable or you want to grow. Like they don't go together. Pick one or the other. So with that in mind, if we want to grow, we got to be uncomfortable. And what does that look like? We got to not go to Target or Kroger or whatever the other grocery store is, and go to the Black supermarket and make your groceries. And if you can get that compounding interest for an elongated period of time, do I believe that that wealth gap will ever close? It would take like massive policy overhaul, and reparations will have to be in there somehow, but it would help. So, you know, with that in mind, I'm definitely a proponent of, you know, group economics and keeping our dollar in our communities.
So with that being said, how much of that do you think is not really other groups or other, you know, people keeping us from coming together? Is our own division? It's people who gone to other schools, gone to other places, who have become successful. However, you know, they have to keep their status and not necessarily pull back or feel like you're not on the same level with them, or, you know, I'm trying not to just really, you know, people that think that they've gotten out the hood and now they're looking at you like everybody else is looking at you.
That's what I always say.
Y'all, it's, oh my God. It
Did you freeze up?
Yeah.
Froze up like Ray Charles. He ready to sing.
I was going to say to
There
you.
you go.
There you go.
I
was going to say.
So I'm back.
I was going to say to you, it's like it goes back to, we got to value us, and the example that you gave, and even the example that Jason gave. Even though he said what he said, the thing is, the first thing in all of it is that we have to see value in us. We have to see the value and want to spend our money, you know, and have it circulate.
And you and TD, I will offer to you, we have to consider all of the individuals. Now, at the end of the day, we are in America. We are subject to an education system and probably every sphere of influence. We're subject to a system that does not prioritize us.
Facts.
Which, okay, you don't prioritize us, but think of how many people. I'll use myself for an example, and because we have to think about imagery, we have to think about how we ingest certain pictures and things like that, and how it kind of shapes the way we think, the way we do life. For me, when I was growing up, literally, I was taught that Santa Claus was the person that came on Christmas, gave me all my gifts. He's white. I was taught that Jesus was white. That's the religious deity that I go and worship and praise every Sunday. All the pictures I see, he's white. Every Fortune 500 that I'm being presented in my education system, or somebody in a high position, they're white. Even the things that we passively learn in school, like if you went to an all-black school like me, I didn't sit in the class with a student from another race or ethnicity until I was in 10th grade. 11th grade, actually. So when you consider that, there was these subconscious ideologies that we would start to foster, that when we saw a white person come in, oh, that must be somebody. Let me straighten up.
Right.
So think about how that compounds over your entire childhood.
That's right.
How it shapes the way you think.
Right.
How do you value something when everything in your past has taught you to devalue that thing? So, I mean, it's hard. We're dealing with, we're fighting an uphill battle. And
Subconscious battle too.
Yeah, subconscious battle. So, I mean, when we think about all of this and making it all connect, these slight things that are put in place for us to value who we are, like diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, like not taking Black history out of history books, like these things. Now you mean to tell me I already have this psychological and physiological trauma, and now you want to take the small things that feed who I am, feed my identity. Now you want to take those out of the school system because it's teaching me how to value myself. Yeah. So it's an uphill battle, man. Those are my thoughts in the nutshell, TD.
What I take from it is that what I see is mainly just it's basically an annihilation play. Honestly, when you really get down to it, I thought that Justin brought a really good point in the chat. Appreciate that comment, Jason. Justin, he said, capitalism wants to make you an individual instead of a community.
Come on,
but
man.
Jason, listen, man, to that point, you just said something so powerful. When you talk about the way we raise, when you talk about it's a subconsciousness that causes you to that has permeated within our community, just generations of self-hatred. You know what I mean? That leads to so many different aspects that affect the community. And then when you get all the way to the end, I saw someone say, Brother First, shout out to Brother First. He said that he was talking about getting a 5-star athlete to come play basketball at Jackson State. We talked about this years ago when McCour Maker committed to Howard. But what he said, what we're not going to do is we're not going to civil rights basically condemn an athlete for choosing to go get a bag if they can. If they can go get it. He said the reason we don't want to do that is because we can't tell the kid to turn down $150,000 or more while us as adults go work in the same settings and take on salaries that can change the trajectory of our life. But what he did say was that mainly in essence, however, when you factor in basketball, which you can definitely do a one and done, now we can have a conversation on winning within your area. Because you got a lot of area, although you could say the country is built on racism. It is. No one can deny that. Don't get in your feelings when we tell you about what our reality is. However, you can see examples of African Americans coming together within this country, right? Within communities that's pooling resources, doing wonderful things that is positively affecting those that are within that radius of that situation. So I love what you said because it speaks to, it's so much more deeper than that. It is. Because now when you get to a place where you talk, because I do want to talk more about like when you're talking about getting athletes to really, really and truly consider an HBCU, because I got to be honest with you, man. If anybody's been paying attention to our football coaches and the way they've been recruiting, listen to me, man. They have been recruiting. I told Zoe today, I called Zoe this morning. I said, bro, I got a wild take. He said, wild, what do you mean? I said, TAKE. And it's all relevant. It's going to sound crazy. I said, our coaching staff is recruiting more aggressive than Dion did. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. But I'm telling you right now, I'm proud of our coaching staff just for going for it. I'm talking about they have offered 5 stars. They have offered 4 stars. They have offered every damn 3-star that they done look like they done came in their vicinity. Every player that they have offered, whether you get them or not, you got to go to these players and say, our institution, our program, our team is good enough for you. And what it's doing is creating dialogue. Because it's a lot, man, to try to change what you're talking about, man. Because I think it's way deeper. And a lot of times we try to surface fix things that you just explained that's innately instilled in us through the history and the annals of history, through chattel slavery, all the way down through the DNA, all the way up into the circumstance that you're born into, all the way up into the city and town and state that you're born into, up into the educational system that you go through, and where you're being innately taught to think a certain way, feel a certain way. Now you fast forward, you listen to the music, it's getting you to program you to think a certain way, act a certain way, and it pushes you all the way up until today. So I guess it's not a question, it's more dialogue. I don't really have a lot of questions.
I did, because you made a really, really good point earlier, Ken. I actually wanted to kind of go back on to something, because for example, like on Justin's last comment, he made the statement that we work better when we work together, not as individuals. The thing is, like when we mentioned the whole thing that happened in the state, and like how you stated that when I asked you earlier, you commended everybody because what did you say? We came together, right? But the thing is, the imagery in coming together is the same imagery, and that is, it's reactionary. Yeah. If you really think about it, when we come together when it's reactionary. My question to you is, at what point can we come together and be proactive, like getting ahead of certain things that can actually benefit us? Because even in the lexicon of Black history, not just with civil rights, but anything, whenever we mobilize, whenever we do anything as a unit, as a people, it's always reactionary. I can go from civil rights movement. I can go to the Montgomery bus boycott. Rosa Parks, anything that we do as a people every single time is reactionary. And so again, when we talk about valuing us, so my question is, what steps do we need to take? What do you think needs to happen when there could even be a spark or whatever the case may be, where you can sit there and say, oh, you know what, this is different because for the first time, we're mobilizing and we're doing something progressive, not reacting to something that was done to one of us or 10 of us or a group of us, and we're reacting with rage to get something completed, but we're being proactive on the front end with something.
Well, so one that's loaded.
Yeah, take your time.
My mind is in so many different places, and I'm so glad that you made reference to how we have been so reactionary, but every time we mobilize, like that's when things change. That's when things happen. So with that in mind, I understand, man. My brain is in so many places now because Ken, you made some good points. Zoe, you made some good points. But Ken, I'll come back to your point. You were saying, how do we convince a kid to turn down $120,000 who probably has never seen $120,000 in his life? Like, how do you convince him to believe that the experience and the value in an HBCU is more than this amount of money? And I think that's what we're about, because the numbers are. Let's start with the numbers are there, y'all. The numbers are there, and I hate to quote. I don't know if y'all ever saw that show All American with Spencer James.
Yeah.
But he made a very powerful comment when he went back to his high school. He left Beverly and went back to Crenshaw?
Yeah.
He said when he was going back right before, he said, "I'm taking the greatest resource that I possibly can back to my community." So we've got to understand that we are our greatest resource, y'all. Right now, Jackson State probably has a student population of about 8, 9, 10,000 students, somewhere in there.
7,000.
7,000 students. Mississippi State right now has 20,000 students. 20% of those students are African Americans. That's the equivalent to about 4,000 students. Let's think if those 4,000 students went to an HBCU, went to Jackson State. Let's multiply 4,000 times whatever the tuition is at Jackson State. I'll get my phone. 4,000 times, let's say
8,500, 85, 9,000. Let's say 9,000.
Yeah, 9,000 times 18,000 a year. That is $72 million. What could Jackson State do with $72 million just off the individuals who these schools were created for, going back to those schools? The question we have to grapple with is, how do we get you to understand the value of that while also reconciling and not taking into account where you've come from? Like, because a lot of these students, they come from situations, and I get it, you're dealing with programming. A lot of HBCUs may not have the major, but Zoe, I'm sorry, ask me your question again so I can make sure I answer, because I'm all.
No, my question was, because to add to Ken's statement as well as Justin was, we talk about, we mentioned earlier in regards to, coming together, because it was a good thing, because we came together, we saw success in regards to, deadening the bill in Mississippi, right, for the close of the colleges. So my thing is going forward, because again, that was a good thing, but again, it was reactionary. So my thing is, what needs to happen, or what spark needs to happen in us as a people or as a collective, as an entity, where we can say, you know what, because the data shows in all walks of life, that's how we came together. We only came together when it's reactionary, when something happened. What needs to change? What spark needs to happen so we can actually be proactive? Because I think when that happens, instead of being reactionary, and you can get something accomplished, but then I think it could change the stratosphere for progress to happen, because we're on the offensive instead of the defensive.
I think, and man, this is going to sound, it may sound a little cynical, but I also believe that these are the types of things that have to happen. And I think things that have to happen is what happened to Jackson State, 4 or 5 years ago. I think our mainstream people, like your Deion Sanders, like your Tyler Perry's, like your I don't know, your Oprah Winfrey, like those people have to be the catalyst to bring attention to these institutions, because that's all society is. It's a fight for attention. When we go on social media, we consume loads of information. The game is who can captivate my attention the most and who can captivate my attention the longest. So I think we have to gravitate to people who already have the platforms to bring the attention to these institutions, one, and get people to understand the value in these institutions. I think that's where it starts. And I think the domino effect happens from there. But I also cannot talk about things like this without engaging the reality of the matter. I know that the dollar is different. Like I would be asinine if I sat here and told y'all I don't accept PWI engagements. And I would be asinine to sit here and say that and not let y'all into the reality that the PWI check looks different from the HBCU check. I have to make a living too, and I have to expand my brand and do what I do. So I get it, but it's like, man, this is such a loaded topic that I don't think that I've completely wrapped my mind around an adequate solution. But I think that would be a good start. Who are those figures in our environments that can first bring attention and awareness to these institutions and start to build momentum from there?
Hey,
real quick, TD, I want to welcome Rochelle to the stream. She's been sitting there for a minute. I was just waiting for a pause. Hey, our sister, big sister. See you. Glad you're doing better.
Yeah, I'm doing. Forgive me for my lateness. I had a late client, so I got on as soon as I could. How you doing, Mr. Gibson?
Listen, Rochelle, what you do is important. You be as late as you need to be, because we all need what you offer.
Thank you. I was listening to one thing that you said, and especially you, Zoe. Zoe, when you was mentioning us being proactive versus reactive. And if you just want to look culturally, we've always been reactive. And it's like it's in our DNA. So what you're doing makes so much sense. But we're always behind the goalpost instead of in front of it. Like we don't, just like give an example with what we experienced. We didn't realize what we needed until we realized we needed it, but it was always there from the start, dealing with our post-trauma that we had. So it's like we don't understand it until we think we really need it. But I was listening to Mr. To speaker, and when we were talking about HBCUs, and I think I missed the last show, but Ken, it's so embedded in us that we are not good enough. That the parents don't think we're good enough. I never forget, Stanford has a relationship with HBCUs, and they have a black day, all the black kids come to Stanford. And so when they took the kids away, they left the parents there. And it was like maybe 350 people. You know what the question was for them? Because we were talking about HBCUs, and this is the black parents. I'm in California. Well, don't you think having an HBCU on their resume is actually a bad thing? And I'm looking at them going, I'm just like, and well, having an HBC versus having a Stanford, I just can't see how having an HBCU education would benefit them versus this. So you're talking about parents who have this mindset that we're not good enough for our own kids.
Well, I think what happens, Rochelle, in that, and I want TD, you're gonna go next. I'm gonna let Jason respond to that. But here's the thing. Good gracious alive, this is loaded. I'm like you, Jason.
Look, Ken,
the reality of it is this. I'm gonna keep saying it again. Racism changed its strategy a long time ago.
Yep.
With capitalism, and it has made it to where that is very real to probably who said that. And that's the thing that I had to acknowledge, that, you know what, as bad as that sounds, as much as I hate that, and me being an HBCU alum that is working in corporate America, that is using my degree to do whatever, right? The reality of the matter is that in the society that their children are going to have to go take on. You're talking about a parent that's what is a baby boomer, maybe?
No, she was. I ain't a baby boomer. We ain't that old, Ken. Come back a generation.
The point
I'm not a baby boomer, so
that their experience is affected by that type of discriminatory behaviors that we know goes on, and how that's why an PWI on a resume to a parent would make them feel a little bit more like, hey, you know what, my child got a degree from Mississippi State or Ole Miss as opposed to Jackson State. Because even though it ain't necessarily true at all, you know, the reality of it is that in their mind, I think that's what it is, because of really they've just faced racism and discrimination. Discrimination has shaped their mindset. But go ahead, Jason. I'll let you jump in.
Before you go, Jason, because I want to even add to that. Great point, Ken. But I'm going to also add something to the end of that. Racism isn't everything. Even though it changed to capitalism, racism is still in everything. Sure. But the crime in everything right now is that the majority of us move around in the year of our Lord 2024 as if it don't exist.
Come on, Zone.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
And I didn't say it changed to capitalism.
No. I didn't say you did. I'm saying like the basis of it evolved. And I agree with you, it did. But what I'm saying is that even though it did, it's still in everything. But even though it's in everything, we still, a good portion of us, act like it don't exist.
At all. That's a whole nother topic. Jason,
that is a whole other topic.
We'll let TD get his question in next.
No, listen, man. I don't remember who put it up here, but we can talk in circles about this topic all day. But I think Justin said it's a multi-layered problem.
Yes.
Multi-layered solutions.
Yes.
Because some people say the solution is reparations. Okay, take money away from white folks, give it to black folks, but then what black folks gonna do with it? Like,
we gonna spend it because we ain't never had it. We got the scarcity mindset.
We're gonna give it right back.
And we still won't work together. You still won't get a collective
to work together.
So, man, so once we get away from the capitalism discussion, then we have to move into the psyche discussion. Yeah. Like, how have we been taught? How do we subconsciously view money? How do we subconsciously view education? What do we think of when we think about religion? Like, so it's so many layers. Oh my God, it's so many layers.
Yeah.
That, like I told y'all, man, I still don't think I fully have an answer, but I appreciate people who are doing the work on the ground to get these, I guess, micro solutions.
Yeah, TD, come on in this thing, man.
Whew. Yeah, well, I first thing I was going to say is, you know, this dialogue that we're having is not directed at any specific race or anything like that. It's just a reality dialogue that, you know, that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That has to be addressed. There's no use of constantly sweeping it on the rug. You know, we face it, we deal with it every day. Yep. So it's not saying that this certain race is bad and all races, you know, people. That's not what this dialogue is. It's not bashing. It's dialogue, conversation within our race. That's the first thing I wanted to say. You know, because we have different people who listen. No telling how many ways they may not take it. But I wanted to make sure I put that disclaimer out. And Rochelle kind of addressed the second part of the question I wanted to address when you were talking about the athlete getting the bag and stuff like that. I was going to say the biggest thing is not the students or the athletes. It's the mindset of the parents. A lot of them, you know what? You have a lot of parents, Professor Gibson, who would rather for their kids to go sit on the bench somewhere else than to play at a HBCU. You know what I'm saying? And then even when you talking about when Brother first was talking about getting an athlete, a 4 or 5 star athlete, you know, to a HBCU, you know, if that player, as we say, is what he is, it's the truth, got it. You know what I'm saying? That's all the more reason he'll get a look if he out there dominating on the court. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about everything that you said, everything we said. It's a mindset. There's multiple layers. There's no particular answers. Because at the end of the day, like I said, that syndrome we always going to have a formal division. We already are less, in the country, but yet still, even the less we are, some of those are still divided. So,
House divided cannot stand.
Right. So,
I want to throw something in there to build on what you're saying, TD. This is another thing that I think exists within our community in relation to this. I think there's a fear. There's a fear of consequence because historically, whenever you've seen Black people organize and Black people really build within the community, there has been an adverse effect. When you think of the Rosewood, the Black Tulsas, the Black Wall Street, those type environments,
trauma.
It always, someone put in the comments earlier that every time we decide to build, someone is always looking to infiltrate that to destroy it. Because the reality of it is that that's the greatest threat to everything we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This thing works when Black people stay ignorant. Black people stay. You have white racist politicians that are using the term woke. You know what I'm saying? They're using that as a means to kind of, I guess denigrate us trying to be conscious of our thought process. When in actuality, you got David Banner when he was at the summit recently. What he was really talking about when he really went on to talk about Black athletes HBCU should be the only option. What he was talking about was police reform. And he was talking about us putting our money together to have someone in the community that looks like us to police our community. But what happens is that unfortunately, a lot of times, I won't go down that road, but I'll just pause right there. But I just wanted to build on that too, because now it's like, well, damn, I'm just gonna do me. The reality of it is that then you had Dr. Cavill come on talking about W.E.B. Du Bois. The quote he stated was the further we get away from the lash, the harder it is for us to come back together. Because now we've been really thrust into individualism, so much so that the thing that's put in front of us is capitalism. And you look at those that are in front of us, the figures, they perpetuate an example that those are the ones that our youth are striving for now. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like that. And what that is an example of a successful individual that does not really pour back into what we call the collective. We will allow others in the room that look like us, that have the status like us, and I'll benefit from you by telling you how to become a great individual. And that's kind of the biggest thing that we're up against. And trust me when I tell you, because I'll say this and I'll shut up about it. Every collective effort ain't met with positive energy. And I'm gonna build on that a little later on. That firsthand. I'm gonna just leave. I'm telling you now, everything ain't built on. So sometimes it make you want to say, you know what, the hell with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go back and do me, because I'm tired of having to fight with my own to try to. I ain't gonna beat you up to help you. But anyway, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry. Hey, go Ken on his rants.
Well, Jason, when you finish, I just want to add something to it.
Oh no, go ahead.
Now hold on. We got a lot to get into. We're gonna still talk about your book. The preliminaries we have, we actually gonna let you do that, because we do the preliminaries all the time. We're gonna talk about Coach Tamika Reed. We're gonna talk about Joseph Eichelberger. We got the #1 baseball. We got a lot of sports, but we're gonna give you that. See, you got to trip over the honey. You see what I'm saying? Trip over the money to get to the honey. That's what I meant to say. You got to trip over the money to get to the honey. So go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh no, Rochelle.
It was just one thing I wanted to come on Ken. What Ken was talking about is that I have said this before, is that unfortunately us as a people have taken on the mindset of our oppressor, and that's individualism. If I didn't know anything else coming from the South, being in Mississippi, it takes a village to raise us. We've always been a building of community. And what's the strong Black culture is that we have taken on the mindset of me, myself, and I. And until we understand that we are built to help each other, because that's how we survived it. And somebody wrote, and I agree that, to me, sometimes I think segregation was the worst thing that could happen to us, because back then we only could rely on each other, and that's how we flourished. But as soon as we thought we were in, it just totally destroyed us, because everything you hear our press have said is that I pulled myself up by my own bootstraps, versus we were always a people of community. And until we understand that we are better together than divided, that's what's really destroying us. I just, because he said it, I had to tag on to it, is that we've taken on that mindset that it's just about me and I'm gonna get mine. I ain't gonna worry about y'all. And it hurts. It does really do hurt us. So go ahead on, Mr. Gibson. I'm going to enjoy you.
Oh, look, man, for me, in closing with this topic, y'all pretty much said it. And I think ways that we can find a remedy to things like this that we talk about. We can start with, somebody just said it, man. Let's get fathers in the home. Oh man, I can't think of that statistic. Children that don't grow with fathers are, Barack Obama said it, 5 times more likely to not go to college, like 9 times more likely to end up in jail. It's a whole statistic. I haven't read it in a minute. But fathers in the home, too, more practically, what y'all are doing now, man. Like, I commend this platform to the utmost. People who would give of themselves, give of their time, their effort, their energy to build up institutions that were created and cultivated for us. So I think it can start like this. People making a commitment to building their own and not overly pouring into something else. Outside of that, man, like I love it, man. I know people have practical, but we're in some perilous times, bro. Donald Trump is selling shoes to try to appeal to the black vote. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? Like, this man's created a shoe.
That's $400.
Like, bro, like, one, I'm offended. One,
hold on, and we have a well-known permanent rapper saying, for shoe collection purposes, I will get them,
and he got them.
Hey, look, I'm not here to tell anybody who to vote for. However, the action, like you think of shoes to appeal to this particular people group. One, black people are not a monolith. We are not one type, one size fit all. And it's just that was so offensive to me that that's your campaign strategy. I'm going to release a shoe to get the black vote.
But Jason, what about comparing the black men? They love me because they understand me. They're convicted villains too. That one hurt me more than the shoe. Okay, let me get off. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I digress.
You're fine. I think, like I said, we're gonna get ready to change gears a little bit, because it really can go. This is not a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour conversation, not even a week conversation. This is something that can go very in depth, because it's almost like you have to have, just like the body is vast, the physical body, and you have med techs who, like, or I would say, like, emergency room doctors. You have doctors that specialize in toes, feet. You got doctors that specialize in ears, throat, nose. You got doctors that specialize in babies. So you got specialists, and then you have, you have general. And I think when it comes to all the different various nuances that affect us as a community, it's going to take some serious specialists in various different aspects. We're going to have to break this thing down, man, and take it one bit at a time. But to your point, man, the fact that you're here and you're partnering, that you pulled up on us and joined the conversation and bold enough to have that conversation. I think the most important thing that probably was said in conjunction with what is said is what TD said. What we don't want is for those that look like that, that's not a part of it, because we have white supporters of this channel. You know what I'm saying? We're not having this conversation to isolate those who don't look like us, to make anybody feel some type of way. I'm not a militant person, but I do realize that sometimes you will be walking into a conversation and we actually just be to listen. And, I always say, just exercise your face. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more than you speak in regards to that. So, and nobody picks what they look like. Nobody chose their family. Nobody chose the the ethnicity that they was born into, because we all and we're gonna get into some of that. I know you're a pastor, man. So we all spirit beings, man, and this life is more merely a physical experience. You don't get to choose how you look externally. So, but you do know that based off how you look externally can dictate your physical experience, and it can affect it in a lot of ways. And that goes to the dialogue that we're talking about. So I'll leave it there, and I want to change gears to you, brother. Let's get into this. You just dropped the book, man. First of all, congratulations to you, brother. Pray, plan, execute. For all of those in the chat, listen, go to www.prayplanexecute.shop right now and purchase this book, man. He said when believers level up. I'll shut up and let you kind of speak to just kind of the vision and your thoughts and what led to you getting and how you got to where you are in relation to the book that we just touched on.
This book is a book that I was writing for about 4 or 5 years. I know I started before the pandemic, or probably like the first year of the pandemic. But this is literally, I have a clothing line as well that's called Pray, Plan, Execute, PPE Apparel. And this has literally become my life moniker. Basically, how this slogan came into fruition, I was in my graduate program at Jackson State. And what happened was I started working at Jackson State when I left Blackburn. I left Jackson State when I was 24, 25 years old. And I went into full-time entrepreneurship. In that same breath, I dropped out of grad school as well because I went into full-time entrepreneurship. I didn't expect to, continue in education. But in 2018, I remember I was praying one night, and I really felt God impress upon me. There are some things I put in your hand that you didn't see all the way through. And one of those things was grad school at Jackson State. I literally finished all my coursework. I just didn't write the thesis. So I got back in school. I started writing my thesis, and I was having a hard time just fixating my mind back into school. And I remember one day, literally, I was sitting at my house on my couch, and I was like, man, I want to drop out again. I don't want to do this no more. I was like, but man, I'm going to do it. And I was talking to myself just like this. I was like, bro, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pray. I'm going to put a plan together, and I'm going to execute it. And it's like that statement, it stopped me in my tracks. I was like, pray, plan, execute. I love it. Pray, plan, execute. Literally made that a whole brand, and I started writing a book around it. So basically, Pray, Plan, Execute is a 21-day devotional that revolves around 4 key areas of our lives: faith, finances, fitness, and family, or our community, the people who we're surrounded by. So basically, I look at these from a biblical standpoint while also having a practical undertone to how we can implement these pray, plan, execute into these 4 areas of our lives on a daily basis. So like the first 5 devotionals, they revolve solely around faith, because James 2:26, the Bible says, for the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Yes, Philip Short was my first brand ambassador last year. So
Philip. All right.
Yeah. So the Bible literally says, for the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. And for me, I grew up in a very religious environment that pushed faith on us. Like, you got to pray, you got to have faith, but then push that work aspect on us. Like, so while I knew how to pray, I knew how to go to God, I didn't know how to couple my faith with my works. I didn't know how to couple my natural with his super to get the supernatural. And out of that, just by trial and error, kind of came this book. So basically, that's how Pray, Plan, Execute came into fruition.
Wow. TD, I know you got something cooking over there, man.
I wanted to ask Jason, how did you know and when did you recognize your motivational talent? Or I know you just wake up and say, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. It's something that had to, something that transpired. When did you recognize, I have ability to captivate someone's attention and to get them to do something that they don't feel that they want to do?
Oh, well, first and foremost, man, it was prophesied over me at 8 years old that I was called to the world, called to the generations. Of course, I was 8 years old, and I was also a preacher's kid, so I was the baddest kid in the church. So I was probably like crawling on the pews or something when that happened. So with that in mind, it was prophesied then, but I think through like high school, when I was at Callaway, I wouldn't best child. However, I always kind of like sensed that there was a call on my life. And I saw that kind of like being magnified through band and basketball and other. And I always found myself in leadership positions. But believe it or not, this motivational thing, I've got to give credit to Jackson State University.
Okay.
I was Mr. Senior, my senior at Jackson State University, and we had a speaker to come in and do the SGA, Student Government Association retreat. And I cannot remember this dude's name for the life of me, but he had this slogan that he would just continue to regurgitate, and he would say, GOODJOB, good job, good job. And he kept my attention. He drew me in, and I would never forget how he made me feel. And I was like, dude, I want to make people feel like that. Even the Bible says the power of life and death is in our mouths. Like it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. There's power in the words that we speak. So when I started, I kind of gravitated to that at Jackson State, but then I started to cultivate it up through my 20s and started to figure out how can I say things, because at the end of the day, all motivational speakers tell us the same thing. If some people say it in a way that resonates, that makes you want to change. So that's been my goal for the past few years. How can I communicate this point in a way, in my intonation, in my tonation, in my verbiage, that makes people digest this message, and as a result of it, they want to change because of it.
Love that. Go ahead, TD.
Well, it took me a minute to start to grasp the concept of depression because I grew up to be a strong male. Didn't grow up with much, but we made do with what we had, so that made me strong. It made me work hard for what I wanted to, to be a go-getter, saying in the thing that's necessary, not extra tennis shoes and rims. With that being said, I have a strong faith in God. Jesus Christ, his son. And so it took a minute for me to understand and grab the concept of depression. With that being said, how do you recognize, are you able to recognize people that are suffering from depression? And how are you able to motivate someone who feel like they are so low that they can't get out of the bondage that they're in? How do you motivate someone that has depression?
Great question.
Good. First of all, good question, TD. One, to your first question, can I recognize when people are suffering from depression? Sometimes, because I'm sure some of y'all on this call can probably attest to it. I can attest to it. I wear masks really well because of who I am. Like everything I do has to do with being on the platform. Whether I'm professor, I'm talking to people. Whether I'm pastor, I'm up on the stage talking to people. Whether I'm speaker, consultant, I'm up on the stage talking to people. So I don't have room to show you what I'm feeling on the inside. So I fake it, or I have faked it well in the past. I've taken preventative measures since then. I'm in therapy, once a month now. I was doing twice a month. But, I've taken those preventative measures now, but there was a time where I wore it well. So sometimes I can notice it because there are very keen examples, and there are very keen things that you can kind of hone in on when depression is, people are just wearing depression. If you find people in isolation a lot, never wanting to, you have friends that every time y'all go out, every time you gather, they never want to be apart. And that's kind of against the behavior that they've exhibited over years. Like that's one of them. People who, you can just kind of tell in body language, like in communication, I want to say is like 50%, 57% of our communication is nonverbal. It's all in our body language. We communicate with people before we say a word. So sometimes when I see people, like I can just tell, like, somebody right there. And to your second question, how do you motivate somebody in that space? Well, the thing about depression is it's a process. It takes process to come out of that state. So while I can initiate that process, I won't belittle my gift and say I can't bring you out of it, but it's highly unlikely because once you get finished listening to my 10, 15, 30, 45-minute speech, you got to go to life. So there are some preventative measures that you have to take to build up on that concept, to build up on the motivation that I give you post hearing me speak or hearing me communicate. But great question.
You muted, Ken.
Sorry about that. I was muted. I think I do want to add to that. I'm not a motivational speaker, but I am a I am who I am. I won't get into me. Another way people can show depression is through activities. That's the other part that people don't talk about, the one that's always doing everything. Because sometimes the loudest person in the room could actually be the most miserable, where they may project their reactions. They can reject how they feel externally. It's almost like I got to stay moving. I got to stay busy. When you think about people, I think about Robin Williams, the comedian, that Mrs. Doubtfire, always trying to make people laugh. You know what I'm saying? And you don't realize that beautiful art and that amazing humor comes from an extremely dark place. You think about musicians like Chester Bennington from the Linkin Park. You know what I'm saying? An amazing musician. But if you sat down and listened to him talk, he'll tell you that his mind's a dark place. You know what I'm saying? And he don't like Terry who?
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw. So my point is, a lot. The Twitch dancer. It goes on, man. And the reality of it is that all you can do is just try to be the best you can. Try to lead. I don't know. Can you motivate speaking is expressed to you? Yeah, I understand. I didn't want to get into me. It's not about me. So that's why I tried to change gears real quick. Right. So let me do this. I'm gonna put this back up here. You guys, if you don't mind, brother Gibson, drop that link with the http www.prayplanexecute.shop into the actual comment section for me. And I want everybody go hit the link, man. Go click the link, purchase the book. Let's make this book an amazing seller. I saw, man, from a video, you prayed over the book. You wrote a custom message to everybody that at that time had actually purchased a copy from you. I thought that was pretty powerful. And just want to give you the opportunity to express anything else in relation to that. And then we're going to really hone in into some Jackson State sports, and then we'll close it out. We'll drop the link and open the chat up for anyone that's in the chat. Because we said so much. I do want you guys in the chat. If you got something that you want to add to the conversation, you want to come up, chop it up with Jason toward the back end of it, hit that link, come on up. We'll add you, and we'll go from there. So anything you want to add in relation to the book, and then we'll kind of jump into some JSU stuff. And then I want to also get a panel opportunity if y'all have some other questions. I don't want to move too fast. I do want to give respect because I know TD, you may still have some questions or whatnot. Okay. So Jason, if you can touch on anything you want in relation to the book, for those that are watching, we got 456. Make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Go ahead, brother.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, Ken. So with this book, y'all, like I said, it's a 21-day devotional, and it is organized like a workbook. So it actually implores and encourages you. It has like exercises at the end, questions at the end, because I wanted to make this as practical as possible. Like I said, it starts off, the first 5 devotionals are centered around faith. And I started there intentionally because, like I said, what I quoted James 2:26, where it says, "For the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also." So I wanted to kind of explore that dichotomy between faith and works. The Bible also says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. So this is an absolutely essential trait that you need in your relationship with Christ if you ascribe to Christianity. The next 5 devotionals revolve around finances. And I really wanted to approach it from a biblical standpoint because there is so, man, y'all, I love the Bible because literally any answer we need is in the Bible about life, about relationships, about self-esteem issues. Like, it's there. So literally in the book, I talk about investing. I talk about, I think it's Proverbs 31. We know Proverbs 31 as the virtuous woman, where that's where you see the scripture about it telling what a wife should be and her being a virtuous woman. But in about Proverbs 31:16, I want to say, it talks about this virtuous woman. It says she considers a field, she buys it, and then she purchases the rest of her crops with the money that she made from that field. And I paraphrase that, but that's Proverbs 31:17, and it literally gives you the pattern of what investing looks like. The Bible says that she considers the field. That's what we got to do, whether you're in the stock market, whether you're in real estate, whether you are in land acquisitions. Like, you have to first consider that property, see if it's worth investing in and see can you get a return on that investment. And then you have to actually buy it. And then once you buy it, you invest in a multitude of fields based off the returns from that. So there are several of scriptures. I even talk about taxes from a biblical standpoint, because when we look at taxpayers in the Bible, we automatically correlate them with sinners. But taxpayers in the Bible were not in and of themselves sinners. What they were doing was considered sins, because taxpayers in the Bible, they were workers for the Roman government, and the Roman government did not pay them for collecting taxes. So what taxpayers would do, they would go to Zoe or Ken or TD or Rochelle, and they would tell them your taxes will really be what you owe the Roman government, $25. But they would say you owe the Roman government $29, and they would take $4 and go and give the rest of the 25 to the Roman government. That's what made what they were doing sin. So literally, I correlate that to what we use taxes for the United States: education, defense, military, things like that. I even have an entire tax bracket in the book because I don't think people actually know what bracket they fall in. I talk about tax rebates, things that we can do to mitigate the amount of money that we pay back in taxes. So, like I said, I approach this from a very practical standpoint while intertwining business biblical principles are at the forefront, but I intertwine very practical everyday situations that we encounter.
Awesome stuff.
Can I ask you, I'm on your website and I'm looking at your black on black, pray, and execute. I'm assuming that is unisex. So if it's a girl, I need to go down a size?
Yeah, it is unisex, but they are true to size. And I will also tell you what,
by the way, just want you to know that she's trying to be all snatched up. She's feeling good right now. I didn't mean to jump in.
It's in this summer, I want you to know. But go ahead on, Brother Jason.
Yeah, I will say, Rochelle, like those shirts, they are really good quality, but they don't have as much give to them. Okay. So they are true to size.
Got it.
I would say go with your normal size. I think it would be a good fit.
I got it. Thank you. I'm looking at the guys' daughters too. This is cute. Okay.
You got to do normal.
Hey, before we move on into the sports aspect, while we got you, I know Brother TD got to. I want you to finish your questions, brother. See what you got. See what we.
I talked, whenever you laid on my heart or you put it in my path to speak with someone, Brother Jason, I would talk to him correctly. I mean, and honestly and openly, that's all I know how to be. And we call that being real. But with that being said, with you being a motivational speaker, how do you continue to speak to an audience that you have not captivated? Someone because I know when you preaching and you teaching or you doing what you're doing, there's gonna be a face out there that you're gonna look out there and you're gonna see them like this, or they're gonna be yarning, or right. So when you're not pumping up the crowd, when your when your intended message is not working to get the crowd motivated or to captivate their attention, how do you continue, or what do you do to try to change that?
So, man, I'm approach that from two different standpoints. One, I will be completely and I say this as humbly as I can. And I want y'all to feel my heart that I'm saying this from a space of humility and not arrogance in my gift. That used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore because I am so content in my own lane and so sure of what God called me to that literally every time I get on a stage, any platform, my goal is to be pleasing in the sight of an audience of one. And that audience is God. Like, so everything else that's surrounding me, the audience that I'm before, is not even my concern. Like, my concern is how can I please the audience of one? And that's him. Now, from another vantage point, there are times where, you know, I could stumble because y'all, much like I'm an athlete at heart. So much like how I was when I was an athlete, I'm a workhorse. I was in the gym all the time. I like to get into grimy things. I was in the gym trying to perfect my craft every day throughout the week. I do the same thing as a speaker. Y'all have no idea. When I go to Jackson State, that speech that I'm saying, I said that speech in my mirror to myself 20 times already. And literally, I've integrated the jokes. Sometimes things come just as I'm up there, but sometimes I've integrated the jokes. And I've also considered, what if this doesn't go over the way that I think it'll go over? Because what I'm starting to learn, or what I've learned with Gen Z, with the generation that I speak to primarily, is they don't give much response. Like, you can be giving them your all, and they can be like, right, not giving you nothing. Like, and I experienced that even with the football team at Jackson State. Like,
yeah, you did.
Them boys mugging me the whole time, but I'm getting DMs after, like, bro, you really, I needed that. Or when I finish, they coming to talk to me like, man, you don't know how much that did for me. But during the speech, it's like, so it's like I've learned not to be so distracted by that, while also making sure that I'm prepared in such a way that I can pivot in a way that if it doesn't go over the way that I thought it was going to go over, if that point doesn't resonate the way I thought it was going to resonate, I already have the pivot in my mind where I'm going to go after that. How am I going to pivot fast? How am I going to go in another direction and not make it look like I was waiting on a response there? So basically, that's how I navigate it, man.
Thank you, Jason. Now, Jason, can you sign my book? I'm about to hit send and spin.
Oh, absolutely. I sign them all, and I sign them to whatever the shipping address says.
Okay, because I got the shirt, I got the necklace, and I got the devotional.
I gotta make you laugh, Jason. This brother right here, the 85 Tiger Show. He is in higher education over in Charlotte, North Carolina, by Johnson C. Smith, and he be in my inbox venting because of the exact same thing you just said. The frustration of dealing with Gen Z. And I won't go any further. If you want to come up here and share that, trust me when I tell you, bro. I didn't listen. I'll be like, man, bro.
No, let me tell you, this generation is different. They are different. And I'm talking like I'm like 30 years old. Like I feel like I was just at Jackson State. I'm 32. And bro, they built different. One, they don't mind taking L's. Like I have students that will literally get an F in my class, and their response be like, I get it next year. And I'm just like, what are we talking about? So, like you just said, man, you really do see the benefits later, man. I've had it where students will graduate and they want me to come to their homes for a graduation party, or they'll write me a letter or email talking about how much of an impact. And I'm like, but you barely came to class. So yeah, man, they built different, but I absolutely would not give up anything to be in this position.
Hey, Brother C. Lee said in the last years as a teacher, he said he had to learn that Gen Z hadn't been taught the importance of body language in communication. So he had to stop thinking that they weren't paying attention. Hey, man, shout out to all the educators out there, man, especially those that are in the high school middle school, elementary, man, you know, K-12. I've always felt like there are a couple of positions in I always felt like there were a few jobs in my belief that should be paid extremely high. The number one on the list were teachers. I always felt like teachers should be extreme. I felt like teachers should have been that position that got paid so well that everybody wanted to be a teacher because of the salary. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some teachers that just really were just they were our mentors before we even knew about mentors. They were our biggest fans. We spent more time with them probably than most of our parents. Because when you're growing up in the home, TD, I'm the same way. We coming from humble beginnings. Mama had to go to work, man. My mama was a respiratory therapist at St. Dominic's Hospital. Daddy, a Baptist minister, and a CPA, working his own business. So trust me when I tell you, you got five of us, 4 siblings plus myself. You know, so and we were some big old jokers, man. We like to eat, so they had to keep their refrigerator full, and then not to even mention being separated and all that type stuff, but yeah, man, absolutely. So I'll say this, and let's move on because I do want to. TD, you got any more questions? I don't want to move too quick.
No. I mean, I've always I have some.
No. I'm
done.
The reason I asked you, TD, is because TD always asks the best questions. I don't mind saying that. A lot of times I be trying to. I really, and this is not even in comparison. I trust me. He very thoughtful, takes his time, and really think the questions that he want to ask. So I yield that to him, and at the same time, I want to make sure that this thing is flowing as it needs to flow. Because sometimes I'll move too quick, moderating this thing, and then we won't let it. It be too much meat left on the bone. So we don't want to do that. I know with a couple of guests we had Dr. Little was on a time schedule, so we had to move pretty quickly. But we'll keep going from there. So you got anything, bro, before we move on?
No, sir, I'm good. Appreciate you, Jason. Great answers.
All right, man. So here's what we want to do now, brother. Let's get into some Jackson State sports, man. We're gonna start with the GOAT. We're gonna start with the GOAT now. We're gonna start with the GOAT, man.
My star boy, come on.
We're gonna start with the GOAT because before you even get started, I'm gonna let this gonna be you the guest tonight. So we're gonna let you do the honors on the preliminaries that we got. I'm just gonna say it like this. I don't know if Coach Tamika Reed is watching. That's my sister. I love her dearly. I am going to say this. I have a very wild take. I might get in trouble for saying it, and I don't care. Not real trouble, but good trouble. Shout out to
good trouble.
Lewis. Yeah.
Shout out to John Lewis. Rest in peace. All right. I feel, and I tweeted this yesterday, whatever we have to do to keep Tamika Reed at Jackson State, we need to do it. I stand on that, and I double stand on it. And I'm telling you right now, community. We can talk community till we blue in the face. I'm going to say it again, y'all. This is our opportunity to tell the world, not only do we value our athletes, but we value the star that we have. She is a star, man. And I'm telling you now, we cannot say to her, we appreciate you. You did a great job, but your work has exceeded what we're willing to pay. Because I'm sorry to tell you right now, brother, something happened today that I don't know if y'all saw it, but the number one coach in the nation, Miss Dawn Staley, who is the standard when it comes to head women's basketball coaches, she tweeted Tamika today. The number one coach, South Carolina University of South Carolina.
Wow.
I can tell you right now, Dawn Staley get paid standard what she get paid at the South Carolina, as a whatever that position called for. But her salary obviously is supplemented. When you think about the University of South Carolina, can I ask y'all a question before I go any further? What's the head basketball coach name? Without Googling.
The guy?
What's the head coach? What's the head men's basketball coach name without using Google?
I don't know.
I do you one better. What's the football coach name without using Google?
I don't know.
Baseball coach.
I don't know.
Lacrosse coach.
I don't know, but ask me who the woman
This is my point.
Yep.
Ain't nobody know and ain't nobody care.
That part.
Because the star at South Carolina is Dawn M. Effin Staley.
Yes.
She is a superstar. Okay? So I'm gonna go this now. I'm gonna build this up, Jason, and I'm gonna shut up. Jack State got the first ever AP top 25 vote from somebody.
Wow.
Right now we're sitting at 21-6, I want to say. Whatever our record is, I'll get to it in just a second. But there you go. South Carolina women's head basketball coach Dawn Staley shows love to Jackson State women's basketball coach head coach Tamika Reed for receiving an AP top 25 vote. Shout out to Jonathan Dobbins from Light On Sports for giving us the quick little edit. Her tweet said, she said, "You'd have another one if I was a voter. Keep doing the believable."
Ooh, not the unbelievable, the believable.
Believable.
Did you see that? Come on. I'm sorry.
Let's boogie now. It's boogie now, man. That's what they come for right here, man. That's what they come for. Come on now.
Ooh.
Come on now. Come on now. What we doing?
Oh God. Man, you gotta love Dawn Staley, man.
And listen, she said, "Listen, if I had a vote, you get two."
Come on.
And I want to give you the words of Coach Tamika Reed. She said, this was her response to Dawn Staley. She said, "We always seek to do something that has never been done in our program as we continue to elevate the bar each year. But to receive an email saying we received a vote for the AP poll is beyond my imagination. Lord, I thank you. To whoever voted for us, thank you." And that just goes to show you that it was the appreciation. Actually, you know what? Coach Tamika Reed's response to Dawn Staley was that was it. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Her response was, "Coach Staley, the best to do it." All caps, not all caps, exclamation point. "Thank you, Coach." Exclamation. "This really means a lot." Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. "You are one remarkable and outstanding coach." Exclamation, exclamation. "I appreciate you." All right, we're going to stop there.
What is the likelihood of Jackson State winning the SWAC and getting the tournament bid to play South Carolina in that first round?
It's not going to happen because I think we're going to get a higher bid. I think if Jackson State – now, let me say this, and I'm going to put this up real quick because I'm going to come back to it just to add to the context. Shout out to HBCU Pass and Live for Hoops for doing this consistent poll every week. I just want y'all to know that tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., Jackson State will take on, according to their poll, the number 5 team. Now, we beat UAPB. We played them without Zay Green in Arkansas. I can bet your bottom dollar Zay Green going to be playing on tomorrow. So we'll be playing a very tough game. UAPB just had their first winning season in 27 years, and they're coached by a fellow JSU alum in Jacksonian, Coach Dunn. Thornton. Yep, I had it right. My mind went crazy. Yeah, so it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. It's a red out. Everybody need to pull up. We need to be in that thing early. We need to be in at 5 o'clock in our seats, packed out. Come off work. Don't worry about going nowhere else. Come straight to the AAC. No excuse.
Put your red shirt in your car.
Put your red shirt in the car before you leave tomorrow. We need to pack the AAC tomorrow. This is the game everybody has circled. This is the game that everybody been waiting on. And I'm going to say it like this right here. We appreciated Miss Ruthie Bolden for being one of our first guests in our guest series, our special guest Wednesday. I ain't going to say nothing, but then I just might say something. She may pull up in the building, and I think she may be speaking to the team. So we going all out, brother. And this is to your question, Jason. Your question was, What are the odds? I think right now with us getting an AP vote, I think right now we're sitting at about number 35, 37 in the country. According to that, we win against UAPB. That's going to make our resume even better because UAPB knocked off Arkansas this year.
Yeah.
Okay. And they got a winning season. Then we finished the season on Saturday versus Mississippi Valley, which is going to be shown on HBCU Go. Now, then we get prepared to head to Birmingham. We win. I think you got to win 3 games to get in. That'll put us at 23-6 for the season. We went through that. That'll put us at 26-6. I think you win 3 games and you get in there 26-6, 26-27. If my math serves me correctly, that'll probably put us at about a 12 or 13 seed, in my opinion. Probably 13 seed, potentially 14 seed. Because y'all remember when we had Amisha Williams-Holiday, Deja Rogan, Maya Crump was a little younger. We played against LSU, and we were the 14 seed, and they were the 3 seed. So it can be something similar to that.
Got it.
But I can tell you right now, man, I'm dead serious when I say this. We better show the hell up, man. I mean that. I understand Thursday night, TD. That was what night was that? It was Friday night for the Canton High game. But listen to me, man. We need to pull up tomorrow night for that game and make sure that we're there for the women's game. This is the biggest game of the year, and this is the biggest threat for us finishing the season undefeated. And we need to pull up to Birmingham if we can and support in the state tournament. Because remember, we lost 1 game last year. We lost in the semifinals right before to a buzzer beater, and the expectation is to win, man. And I'm just telling y'all right now, if we do, that is the goal. So I don't see us possibly playing against. We would have to be the number 64 team in the tournament in order for us to be against South Carolina. I don't think that'll happen. Now, do they put us in that bracket and possibly I don't know. We mess around and win 1 game, that's going to be historic in that regard anyway. So let me shut up. You jump on in there, bro. You got it.
Listen, first of all, kudos to Coach Tamika Reed, man. I've always been so fond of not just the basketball coach, but the person that she is. Man, she is such a wealth of wisdom, and what she's been able to do with that program over the past, 5 years now? Like,
I want to say it's year 6 because this is her 5th SWAC regular season. So this is year 6.
Yeah, year 6, man. What she's been able to do with this program is nothing short of remarkable. So with that in mind, I'm with you in that regard, Ken. I know the phone is ringing. But man, as an alumni, listen, I don't know what we need to do, but if by any we can, if by any means we can keep her, I get it. We talked about it earlier, man. Like I understand that dollar talks different at different institutions, but man, if we can do something to keep her, because she's steadily making progress. Like you talking about 6 years, all the accomplishments that she's had, and then in year 6, now she's getting an AP vote. Like, man, and she's getting closer and closer. Like we gave LSU a run for their money. Just what was it, 2 years ago? Like you can see her slowly but surely like progressing and that excitement unfolding. So with that in mind, man, like bro, if it's anything, Ashley Robinson, if you're listening, open the checkbook, my dog. Open it up. Let's do what we got. Let's repurpose some funds, reallocate whatever we say.
Ken.
Hey, Jason.
I just want to add one thing, TD, for you add to that. We are number 14 in the mid-major poll. I just want to throw that in there. Go ahead, brother. Rank number 14 in the mid-major poll.
No, I just about to mess with Jason. You know, he spoke earlier on, the difference in the HBCU check and the PWI check. You just made that statement, something that PWI check will help now.
Hey, I got a point to that, though. I point to that, and I know when I say certain things, I tend to anyway. The hell with that. Let me say this. Listen, man, I'm big on history. I'm big on setting the precedent. I'm big on our institution is good enough I'm big on, like she said, we got to tear those walls. We got to kick them walls down, tear them walls down. We got to do that. And you know what? That don't stop when it comes to her. You can't become a victim of your success. So if there's a wall that us saying that there is no precedent, hell, South Carolina, I ain't gonna get into no money because I'm not trying to. I ain't the AD. I don't work for JSU. I ain't trying to make nobody do nothing. But what I am trying to do is prick the consciousness in the minds of our supporters and alums and fans to where that if the AD did say, "Look, we need $500,000, man. We need $500,000, and we need it."
Listen,
we ought to be able to have a call to order and be able to make that happen in no time. And we need to be okay. Listen to me, brother, when I say this. I'm going to get on the screen when I say this. All right? We need to be okay with Coach Tamika Reed being the highest paid coach at Jackson State, if that's the case.
Say it for the people in the back.
Maybe that's the girl dad in me talking, brother. I'm sorry. I ain't going to apologize. But let me tell you like this right here. Look, man.
Track record.
Bam.
5 straight regular season championships. There is no better way to tell someone that you appreciate them, you value them. And I ain't talking about the AD. I'm talking about the supporters of DEI Love. I'm talking about us. Because he can only do so much. They can only do so much. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, just if by chance, per chance, that is the situation,
that's the situation.
We should meet that with so much energy that we should have it before the day out. Now, what it's gonna require is now Coach Reed gonna have to want to stay. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I know her phone been ringing, y'all. I ain't tell you nothing y'all don't already know. Her phone ringing last year. Don't you dare think for 1 second that she won't get no calls. And I ain't speaking as no insider. I'm just telling you, I pay attention. All you gotta do is listen. I read the article that she did with some. I'm just telling you, man.
Wasn't it the LSU coach last year who talked about
the year
before? Yeah, she was like Jackson State.
But here's the point, though. This is what I'm saying. We still can do better.
Yes.
I'm just saying the AAC holds what 7,500 folk, 6,500. We got to not only just say that it ain't just money. We also got to pull up.
Yes.
We got to pull up and create an environment that look like Canton versus damn Yazoo City when our women are playing. Because I can tell you like this right here. When I went to that game versus when I went to the Moody Center. And I watched Jackson State play against Texas. They was in that thing. They was in that thing for them women, watching them Texas Longhorn women play our Tigers. When you go down to Baton Rouge, they in there. Now they got some stars. They got the Bayou Barbie down there. Don't get me wrong now. But we can have our own version of the Bayou Barbie. We got the Twin Tower. Don't forget that Angel Jackson and Daphne White are 5 stars. Don't forget that now. We got 2 5 stars on the roster. People
really?
Yeah, they're 5 stars.
Oh, wow.
Angel Jackson transferred in from USC, brother. That's Southern Cal.
Oh,
wow. Daphne White transferred in from LSU. Just tell you, I think that's right. JUCO by way of LSU. My point is, you know what I'm saying? You got whatever. It was one of the SEC schools, if I had it wrong. My point is, I'm not telling anybody, don't take offense. Look, when we had this, the other part about this conversation, man. When we talk about this stuff, we ain't stepping on no toes. We're just giving context and dialogue from our vantage point, just saying, man, we would love to see us not sit back and watch somebody come take our best and brightest. Because that conversation that David Banner said what he said, it don't just stop with the athletes. Yeah. It goes into the situation with the coaches as well. And go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to add to what you were saying, about Coach Reed. Jason, look at this, take this into consideration. She been there 5 years and she won 5 straight titles. That means that she's taking somebody from a freshman to graduating. You know what I'm saying? She had different classes. She didn't come in with just a class full of seniors and then she dropped down when they left. She built a program where they are constantly coming in on a yearly basis, winning. So you have to take that in consideration. So she's she's doing an excellent job, man. And then as far as you don't mess with people's money and stuff like that, but like Ken said, with the track record, you have to respect, the price tag. I mean, because although football is the money-making sport, is the standard for all colleges, you got to take in consideration basketball is next. And then we talking about the band, we talking about the track team, we talking about the brand now.
Yep.
So not only if they make it to the tournament, they're on national television being watched by people who still never heard of Jackson State. Now they representing the brand.
Oh yeah, brother. Yes, sir.
So you have to think about those type of things when you're looking at this, man. And let's not always be quick to say, hey, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people with Louis and Gucci and Coach on, man.
Hey, look, TD, all I'm saying is this, because I don't want anybody to think that I don't have any ties to the athletic department like that. We have a great athletic leadership staff. Shout out to AD Robinson, the best AD in the game. Shout out to Elise Wells Gilbert, one of the best in the game in the entire staff. Yeah. I'm not in no way. So shout out to the Tiger Fund. I'm not in that.
Blue Wing,
All I'm saying, shout out to the Blue Wing Athletic Association. Shout out to the 1400 Club. Here's my point. We don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what the approach will be. But what I'm saying is just per chance. If that is the direction that is taken and the onus is put back on us as a base, I'm just trying to say that we should, as a base, be willing to have the blank check mentality and say, you know what? We're willing to annually, not just a one time, annually commit to this for that. Because that is what they do. You can talk about not going there all you want to, but guess what? They do this. Ain't no mystery about that. I'm just telling you like that right here. Listen, man, Steve Sarkisian, I live, living in Austin, Texas, watching them fire coach after coach. I love Charlie Strong. They brought him in there. They walked him out like he had an usher holding his hand. Then Tom Herman came behind him. They walked him out like there was an usher holding his hand. And here comes Steve Sarkisian, right? Man, do you know that man finally got Texas 10 wins and made them look like they was relevant again? And that man got a salary of 5 years. I know this is football, but he getting paid $10 million a year for the next 7 years, bro. The man get 2 free cars and he get a private jet. Yeah. I'm telling you, that ain't the state of Texas. That is them Longhorn boosters. Now, I know they got a lot of billion-dollar boosters. I'm not saying anything in relation to that, but what I am saying is this right here. They got a lot of money over there. Vic Schaefer, who actually brought his Mississippi State Bulldogs to the AAC. That's the one loss she actually had in the AAC, by the way, just so you know that she ain't lost a SWAC game in damn near in the 5 years at the AAC. So shame on us if we don't pull up and be supportive. That woman ain't lost a game, not versus no SWAC opponent. So what I'm telling you right now is that this is what I mean when I say group economics. How do we keep the best and the brightest in our space and say that ours is good enough and we want you to stay with us and we're going to make sure you're compensated and we're not going to let somebody come take you. Because if you want to go, then we go and we wish you well and we're going to love you anyway. But it can't be I left because I didn't feel appreciated and I didn't feel that they supported me, because when he and she called to action and said we need XYZ, they didn't make it happen. I'm just putting that out there saying I don't know what the hell gonna happen, because I know AD Robinson is he don't say a whole lot. He kind of stay in the background. He do his thing, and I'm not stepping on the toes. I'm just giving my perspective on that. I'm a fan. That's my sister. Love her. I support her. I wish her nothing but the best, but I want her to stay because I like this, man. I love watching Jackson State women's basketball. Yeah. And we don't know. Don't speak for the unknown. There's some other coaches out there. I don't give a damn who out there. I want her to stay. If we can get her to stay, I want her there. I'm not saying she's leaving, by the way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, hell, we're the HBCU. TD, we went 7-4, and we had 3 of our coaches get pulled up from FBS school. I'm just saying, we lose the O-line. We love the O-line coach. We was excited about it. Did y'all not hear did y'all not just see the interview with Isaiah Villanueva on Tiger Talk? He said he got recruited by Jason Onyebuaga, the O-line coach. But before he can even get to the campus, Jason Onyebuaga gone to South Alabama. I'm telling you, they're coming. If you got a good coach, they're gonna come for him. If they can offer an opportunity, Quinn Billerman went to Austin P. Jason and our defensive coordinator went to South Alabama. Mo Harris went to Auburn. In come the new coaches, and we'll see it out. We'll shuffle the deck and see what happens in the end. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I am saying. I know what I'm doing, Galen, too. By the way, I know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to stir up the pot a little bit amongst the base. Not the administrators, not the folks that's doing the jobs. I'm not in that realm. I'm in the, hey man, huddle up over here. Let's make sure that if the coach called to play, we ready to roll. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, man. I understand what people are saying. You know, there's other coaches out there, but man, I would absolutely love, of course, out of just my desire to see my university flourish in every aspect. I would love to see her stay, but I cannot disregard that. I know they calling.
You know
they calling, and I
was calling me to come back to the streets of shopping.
So I would still be extremely happy for her if she took another opportunity, because we have also, I'm also trying to look at it objectively. That all of us are always trying to look for that next stepping stone in our career, whatever that looks like, or whatever you consider a stepping stone. So she has done so. I mean, man, she's probably done more in these 6 years than many coaches did in 20 plus.
Of course.
So Jason, let's say this. You said that next stepping stone. Most competitive people like challenges. What better challenge than to take an HBCU all the way up to the Sweet 16?
Listen.
Yeah, hey, look. I love it.
Well, hey, how about a winning non-conference record, man? Because she went through a gauntlet this offseason. That's how we got them losses. We still should have beat Miami, by the way, and Mississippi State, but for another day. I'm just saying. And one can make the case Central Florida too, but whatever. Anyway, let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. We want to send a huge shout out to one of our players, Easy Rook. Maya Crump was acknowledged as the SWAC Player of the Week, man. Shout out to Maya, man. Had a great game against Texas Southern. She had about 21 points, and she had a double-double. That I do know for sure. And had a great game against Prairie View as well.
Listen, let me tell you something, man. Maya has been my favorite player on this team for about 3 years now. I love the tenacity and the conviction that she plays with. Mm-hmm. I love her feel for the game. I love how she's relentless on both ends of the floor. I don't see her slack, or the times I've seen her play on TV and in person, I don't see her slack on the defensive end when the offensive is not clicking the way that it usually is. And I see her making that progression at the right time. Like she offensively, she's getting back to like that Maya Crump that I'm like, I want the ball in her hands.
Yeah.
We down one and it's 6 seconds to go. Like she's getting back to that place.
You talking about March Maya?
Yeah. Yeah. March Maya.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, man. So, bro, I absolutely love Maya, man. And I hate this is her last year, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I'm gonna miss her next year. I'm really gonna miss her next year.
Hey, Ken, you might also want to explain. I know you was like you gave an example. Hey, you'll need a half a meal, then whatever it is. But make sure that you may want to explain. A school only pay a certain month.
That's what I'm saying. So, like for example, I know where you're going because we touched on this. Let's use Deion Sanders for an example. We broke down how he actually got paid 1.3, 1.5 million a year. This is about 1.5. But it was real creative. Like I said, shout out to the Tiger Fund. We appreciate Jesse and Mr. Robin and Albert and all of them for all that they do, as well as the Blue Bingo. The salary itself, these positions are state. These are state institutions, man. So, they're getting paid. There's only a certain threshold that you can go to. And everything above that to TD's point, is going to be supplemented through form, whether it's boosters or alumni donors in that capacity. So he had a base salary of $500,000 when you couple the $300,000 for the position itself, plus the $200,000 that was coming from the university to supplement that to get us to that. He had additional funds coming in through we have grants. We had grants coming in. The way it was explained to me at that time. And for those that don't know, if you got a nonprofit, you can take a max of 40% for administrative costs on some of these grants. And basically what was happening is, if you get $1 million grant, Jason, he'd keep the 400, the school will get the 600. That's how that worked. And that's how they was able to supplement his salary. So when you added it all up, Procter & Gamble, Walmart, all that good stuff, because he, if he made a call, it was almost like a salesman that got commission, basically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is factored in. So a lot of people were getting the wrong number and saying, oh, they only paying him this amount of money. He only making $500,000. Yeah, he got da-da-da-da. That's really the same thing that Colorado is doing now. Because I can tell you right now, his base salary is not 5 point whatever it is. His base salary is probably $300,000 for the head coach position, maybe $500,000, but more than likely it's in the hundreds of thousands. And the difference came from the supplement and boosters. That's why they were saying they didn't have the money right now, but they were going to get the money. So they agreed to a deal that really, it was mainly based off of donor support. So to this particular instance, that's the same. It's the same thing in all of those things. I don't try to even pretend to get into that. I don't really care about all that stuff because that's not my job. I have way too much respect for the adults that do the job and do the work. I think they do a great job. I think we got the best in the business. So I stay out of that. But knowing that, I'm using that as an example. So that's why I was saying, we don't know what those conversations may be like. Jason just made a point that is very, very, very powerful, because you very well could feel like, you know what, I'm ready for my next challenge. I did everything I could do at this level. It's time for me to take on a new challenge. Or it could be, you know what, I haven't done everything I wanted to do, but I do want to stay, but I got some certain things that's got to happen in order for me to stay, because the price of the brick done went up, you know what I'm saying, based off of what happened. So I can assure you, she's not going to have this conversation. We just talking. Coach Reed ain't focused on nothing other than winning the SWAC tournament and winning in the NCAA tournament, because I just want that for her. I want that for them young ladies. And now we don't want to jump the gun. They have to win. They have to get through it. And that's what I hope. So TD, I hope that answered the question. We have to supplement the salaries or whatever's in that role. And I don't know what that is, so don't ask me that. But whatever the difference is, if the base salary is $150 for the position and we want to pay $450, that means we better come up with $300 annually.
Hey, Jason. Hey, I want to back up just a second, Ken. I want to ask Jason a question. Jason, would you happen to have watched the video, The Deep South, with the young man Tommy, who graduated from Tougaloo? He did a tour around Mississippi, the Deep South.
No, I hadn't seen it.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I've heard of it, but no, I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, he actually brought the tourists to Tougaloo, and they walked around Tougaloo and they talked about, the city of Jackson, because he wanted to explore the positive side. He told his story, about playing basketball at Tougaloo and everything like that. So it's an interesting piece. There's work about, sir.
Tommy Mabry. They used to hoop at Bailey.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think that's.
I've heard of it. I heard of it. Uh-huh.
Yes. Interesting piece, though.
Okay, I got you. Right. I'll make sure I look into it.
Rochelle, did you have something? We're gonna keep it rolling. Okay. So real quick, just so y'all know, tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. We got Arkansas Pine Bluff. Women are at 5:30. Let's pack the AAC. Be in there. Let's get loud. Let's get proud. Let's be proud. Let's be rowdy. The men are following, directly following the game, 7:30 p.m. Tip off for the men's game. And then followed by that on Saturday, we're going to have on HBCU Go. We should be in the building. This is an alumni night alumni day for us, fan and alumni day. So pull up. The game. I think the kickoff is 12 for the women, and then the men will follow shortly after that. So it'll be an early tip off on Saturday.
Hey, I have a two-part question for you.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, number one, I know it was said when when Daphne got hurt, if we made the playoff, possible that she's coming back. Is there any substance to that?
I wouldn't hold my breath to it, because not if she hurt her knee, I don't see that happening. I don't. No, you know why? Because we're already in March, so March Madness. I don't see her. I don't see it. We're gonna finish up the season this weekend, and next weekend we're gonna be in Birmingham. So we got to get through Birmingham, and then after that, hell, is the last week of March, we're gonna be back whoever win the conference, hopefully is our latest. We're gonna be traveling somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the second part of that, I know we giving much due to the women's, which is well respected and well deserved. But how do you see where are the men standing right now in the playoffs?
They're gonna make the tournament. We did win the game, which we covered it on the game on Monday. We did win the game against Prairie View, lost against Texas Southern, got outscored. I want to say by 11 points in the second half. We was up 1 at halftime, but the team is playing okay, man. We're playing pretty good. You know what I mean? Ken Evans had a good game. He had over 20 in the win against Prairie View. Now Pine Bluff, I want to say we won that game. If my memory serves me correct, we should finish the season on a 3-0 winning streak, TD, as we get ready to go into the playoffs and go into the tournament. I mean, Zeke tweeted today that they get in the ring. That's their mindset, man. They know they hurt. They know that they've gone through some injuries, but the players that are playing, man, in their mind, they don't have no. In that tournament, it's different, man. I won a state championship at Holmes Community College in 2002, and we were a subpar, middle of the pack, 17 and 14, 7. One of them. It was like that for the season, and we had some adversity that we went through. But when the tournament hit, we were like, man, this is it, bro. We got to lock in. And we went out there. We won the first game by a buzzer beater. So my point is, anything can happen in the tournament. You go in and have a good shooting day. TD, we don't even get to the semifinals or the finals if our point guard, Greg, shout out to my boy Greg Tucker, straight out of Bartlett High School, Memphis 10. Man, he shot a half-court buzzer beater, bro, to beat Jones in the first round, man. And that's how we got to the second round of the tournament, bro, where we wound up beating Itawamba, and then we wound up beating Northwest in the championship game. So trust me when I tell you, anything can happen in that tournament. They will make the tournament. I think we'll go in at a pretty middle of the pack type seed. But hell, I like that, because guess what? If I'm the number 1 seed, you don't want to see a Jackson State that ain't got shit to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have a bad shooting night against us. You know what I'm saying? And we go out there with just we play with reckless abandon. We don't really care about. It's kind of a, you know what I'm saying, kill or be killed mentality. And you just go out there and take it. Because all the teams, it ain't really no teams that we we could have beat Grambling. I know we played them in Jersey, but we really could have we could have played with them and beat them. Chase was playing at the time. I don't know where we are with the injuries, TD, but I'll have that answer on tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll know kind of how we feel. Hopefully we can get one of the coaches up to come on the platform. We might try to get both of them up on this thing next Wednesday. The season will be over. No, we can't get on Wednesday because I think the tournament starts. But anyway, go ahead, brother.
Look, Ken, this is very random, off-topic question, but who do y'all know in the ticket office? 1 and 2. Do y'all know if they have some more courtside seats available?
Nope.
I know
them things hard to get, man.
Oh, yeah.
This right here, man. If your best bet is gonna be that, maybe you got a relationship probably with. I can't even say that. I don't think that. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, bro. Because I wanted set of them and I couldn't get none either. So and I ain't saying I'm special. I'm just saying, hell, I couldn't even buy none. It was hard, man.
During Coach Brent's time at Jackson State, I got courtside seats every year because he was my high school coach. But yeah, man, I just know I can't go up no stairs with his Achilles. So I'm trying to figure out.
I would just say get with probably 80. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can make some accommodations. You can get a seat in a level that's that's convenient. You know what I mean? Now I ain't gonna speak for nobody, but I'm sure that they'll make some accommodations for you. I'm positive of that if they can. Now courtside though, I don't know about that one. I can give you my little media chair if you want that little thing. That little thing is about as wide as a butt cheek. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna that ain't no big old seat. That's kind of one of them little hun chairs. You know, the little triangular joint. That's the one that they got, man.
I know what you're saying.
But yeah, here's the schedule for the tournament. Let's see. That means March 13th is going to be March the 13th is going to be a Wednesday. So the tournament is going to start on Wednesday. I don't know if I got to look at the schedule. I don't have the schedule in front of me. We'll have that up for the next show when we get ready to break down the schedule in the tournament. And hey, man, pull up. All our teams will be there. Let's move on, man. Let's keep rolling. Shout out to the baseball team, man. We'll get into that. I know we won against Rush College. They had us down, man, and we wound up rallying to come back and win that game 5-4. And we was up 9-0, and then we had a weather cancellation midway through the second game. But the baseball team will be in Memphis. They'll be in a tournament at the University of Memphis this weekend. So we'll be definitely keeping our eyes on that. One of the reasons is because, brother, we got the best college slugger in America, man. Not in the this is why I love this story, man, because once again, this is an HBCU player. And look at what happens when the light is shined on when a player does well at HBCU. HBCU media is a lot stronger than it has been in times past. Shout out to HBCU Go for putting it out there. You got Garrett Bugsby, who is a local reporter. He did an interview, and a young man by the name of Joseph Eichelberger. Right now he's batting .639, bro. And with he also has the best on base percentage and hits per game percentage. So, but this was his quote. He said, "Ending up at Jackson State was a great decision, and he feel like this is the place for me. I made a great decision." Huge shout out to Joseph Eichelberger, man. We got the #1 batter in all of baseball, college baseball, right there at DEI and Jackson State University. Thoughts on that, brother?
Well, man, listen, simply amazing. I'm not much of I never really played baseball. Yeah. So I don't quite know how hard it is or how doable it is to do something like that. But if you're the top player in the nation, it must be a pretty significant feat. So with that in mind, man, I'm just glad. I think what blessed me the most about that whole situation was his quote, and him just kind of expressing his appreciation for being at Jackson State and understanding the value, what we were talking about earlier, the value in the position that he's in. So, man, that really did something for me. Do we know what's his classification?
I don't. I did. I actually reached out to him. Had a conversation with him, or looked to have a conversation with him about, just told him, hey man, great job. Keep up the great work, man. We're definitely watching, and we'll look to have a conversation with him whenever that opportunity presents itself. Not really sure at the moment. I know I can go to his page, and matter of fact, I probably should do that. But I don't really want to waste too much time if it don't pull right up. But yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. Yeah, I'll find out. Somebody, if you guys can, go to Twitter, pull up his page, and see if it has it on his page. But I'm not sure at this very moment. All right, let's keep moving. If you guys haven't had a chance to go ahead, bro.
Hey, one thing I was he's a junior.
It's junior. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to make sure.
And one thing I was going to say about the post and you know, young man being up there is to quote the luxurious Mike Jones. Back
Who?
then they didn't want him.
I said,
but now you're hot, man.
All
you were saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? So I hope those comments, you know, stay true.
Hey man, again, we have to create the value. You know, we have to create the value and mean that. And that's what we're looking to do. Go ahead, Miss Rochelle. What you got, baby?
Do you know how amazing that it is that one school got this much going on in it? Like the baseball team.
Expectation.
It is insane. Like, I mean, this is what you always say, Ken, is that don't get used to this and get comfortable. Because what we're doing in this space, a lot of people will love that. Our baseball players the best in the nation. Our girls, our basketball team, I mean, we are like I mean, we're just like everything. I'm talking everything. It's crazy. I just think we don't realize how awesome this is.
But you know what has changed, Michelle? I wouldn't say that the success of the programs has changed, and I'm not saying that you are either. I think the way it's covered. Now, we used to rely on other outlets to tell our story for us.
And we tell
That's why outlets like this are important. That's why, you know, using social media, using you have an HBCU Go, you know, the boom. Like I
was just going to come back and say our band, our football team, our band.
These in each particular aspect are having their own. Man, let me tell you something. I know ASVP is the man when it comes to football media.
But that Sonic Boom, baby.
Sonic Boom media right now.
Listen,
it's probably one of the. Listen, man. I love what they're doing with the videography standpoint with the Boom, but yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. If you haven't had a chance to catch the interview, go to Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club to catch the interview with offensive line transfer from North Texas, Mr. Isaiah Villanueva. Go check that out, man. Great interview. Next up, brother, is I wanted to put this quote up here. Shout out to John Huggins. We had a chance to see him down at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. This was a quote from Coach Bubba McDowell, head coach of the Prairie View. He was on that staff. He said, John, he can hit, he can play nickel, he can play safety, and that's what you want, multiple purpose type athlete, you know, and in relation to John and his draft stock. John is a heavily sought out after player. We hope that he get his name called, but, you know, if he doesn't get his name called, he definitely can get on a roster and make a team, I believe, wholeheartedly. And I know, Jason, you've had a chance to see him. You know, you've been in several games, but thoughts on John and his potential at the next level?
Yeah, man. I really do hope John gets on the roster, man. I can remember just in one particular interaction that I had with John on the sideline. I cannot remember what game it was. I want to say it was Alabama State. And he's his own biggest critic. And I love it because he's always looking for opportunities to get better on and off the field. He had conversations with me. I couldn't help him much on the field because I'm not a football expert. But
yeah,
man, just kind of getting in his head, just seeing how he thinks, man. Wise beyond his years, super mature. So man, I really think the sky's the limit for that kid, for that young man. So hopefully he can get on the roster. I really do hope that we can see him accomplish that.
Absolutely. Next up, man, the spring schedule. The spring game is going to be April the 6th. I know you say you're getting your schedule back revved up real quick. How your schedule looking for possibly attending the spring game? Is that too soon to ask? I know that's a month from now, but a whole 30 days or so. I think the day is the 6th, and the next in a month from now we'll be playing some football. Will you get a chance to make the spring game, or you may be too busy?
I see I'm somewhere on the 5th, but no. I'm at a school in Vicksburg on the 5th, so yeah, I'll be on the 6th as of now. Yeah, I'm in Vicksburg. So yeah, I'm good. I'll be there.
Good deal, man. Thoughts. Let me get your thoughts on. Have you had a chance to keep up with the recruiting? I know we covered the coaching staff the past 2 shows. Immediate thoughts on the changes that you've seen in the coaching staff with this team, with this year's coaching staff.
Oh man.
And I don't have those slides up, but I'll run it down real quick. Immediate changes are Coach Brandon Morton, who is running backs coach, now recruiting coordinator. Coach O is now carrying the title of general manager along with associate head coach, still working with the tight ends. Then you move, you got Coach Gallen coming in from North Carolina A&T to coach running backs. What's out the running back? Coach Vincent Marshall, wide receiver coach, coming in from Norfolk State.
I remember Javancy.
O-line coach, Coach Manny Ramirez, coming to us from Texas Southern. He's also going to be the run game coordinator. Like I said, tight end coach O will still be working with the tight ends. Now, when you move into the defense, Coach Terenzo Quinn, elevated to defensive coordinator. Love that move. You got Coach Callie James coming in from Florida as the D-line coach. Javancy Jones coming in as an outside linebacker special teams coach. Still got Coach Tyquan Hammock. Still got, let's see, then in safety, the DB coach is Coach Mario Magana. And that's pretty much for the staff. Coach Rip Kirk, that's who it was. Coach Rip Kirk, quarterback coach. So that's the meat and potatoes of the coaching staff. Of course, you got Coach Caleb Graham, Coach Aaron Jackson, Coach Bobby Mitchell, all of them, the GAs and analysts that are working with the team. But thoughts on the changes that you've seen made, because we did lose 3. We lost Mo Harris, we lost Quinn Billerman, we lost Coach J.O., and we lost Coach Bradley. But Coach TC looked like he did a really good job of replacing. Thoughts on that?
Well, I really like the move most readily. I really like the move of just elevating Coach Quinn, right? The defense coordinator. Remember meeting Coach Quinn, great guy. The players responded to him and kind of gravitated to him really well. So I think that was a really good move to keep that in-house. Outside of that, man, and Ken, I don't know nothing about this. Absolutely. Let me preface this by saying that I love Coach Mo. I loved him as a person, as a man. I love him, how he cared for his family. I loved him. I loved all that about him. But I think I don't know what's going on. And, I'm not plugged in like that, so I don't know. But I really always had this thing where I wanted to see Coach TC call the plays. So, I don't know if that's what's brewing, but, if it is, that'll really appease my preference. Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear that announcement, what we decide to do on the OC side.
Or not hear announcement, just see it happening when the game, Coach, from what I've learned from being just kind of being close enough to see how Coach move, if he don't have to say nothing about it, he'll figure everybody figure it out eventually.
Go watch the video on Tiger Talk.
Oh, yeah, well, they already announced it.
He interviewed with a player.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I think with I think all will be. I think you'll be pleasantly happy. I think you'll be pleased with the changes that he's made. I think so. I'm pleased. Yeah. I like what I see. But my thing is always this: we don't. If it ain't coming from the university, I don't touch it. Yeah. I ain't gonna make no announcement. I don't break no news, because I always look at it like this: if they wanted something to be said a certain way, they'll say it themselves. They don't want me to say it. Yeah, man. So, and that just keeps us. It keeps everything clear. And if somebody break news and say something, we're gonna come talk about it then. Mm-hmm. But we're not gonna break it initially. So, but no, man, you right on with that. I think you just said what 95% of the fan base was saying.
Because if I remember, and y'all, like I always got a preference with, I'm not a football savant. I'm basketball through and through. But I think I know enough. Was it that when we beat FAMU like 60-something to 3?
59-3. Yep.
59-3. Who was the OC then?
It wasn't
Oh,
too.
that was
I think
no,
you
that
referred
was
to the A&M game.
that was
The A&M game. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. It was
A&M game, 61-15. That's
I
correct.
knew, yeah, it was something we was in the 50s or the 60s where
Yeah, it was
I thought I
61-15.
remember.
Alabama A&M. Yep.
Yeah, I thought I remember Coach TC calling the plays that game.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, it was their homecoming.
But yeah, man, I don't know, just from a very practical standpoint, like he played two positions at a high level that are extremely important to the offense and the longevity and the sustainability of a football program. So it's like to see him, I just feel like his expertise, his acumen towards that would be so necessary. And just I've always wanted to see it. So that's my desire. I'm not going to try to pry any more information out of anybody to try to give me a little scoop. I'm just wait to see it. I'm waiting to see it. And I really can't wait to see it.
I had a chance to visit one practice, the first practice. The thing that I took away from that, and I've said this multiple times, I love the intensity and the intentionality of the coaches, man. Very intentional with their approach, a very aggressive approach. And I think from what I'll just say, I think there will be a heavy emphasis on the run, establishing the run and being able to run the ball in every game. And you say that because you think about it. You bring in a new running backs coach. We've all felt like the running back coach was pretty good. But think about it. If you can get another good running back coach, you go ahead and take that opportunity. And then you make the O-line coach your run game coordinator. So when you start looking at stuff like that, now that O-line coach comes from Texas Southern, who had the best rushing attack in the conference. So that ought to tell you, because here's the thing: if you can establish the run, that makes it all the more easier for the quarterbacks, because now they're gonna have to stack the box to stop you. And if you stack the box against us to stop the run, now you open. Now the field is wide open. And I know Coach TC, from when he was calling plays, if you go back and look at it, he liked to get up the field with the ball, man. I guarantee you one damn thing: we're gonna see a slant route this year. I'm dead serious. I was just TD. I was tickled pink. I could have did some jumping jacks on the track when I, just seeing somebody run a slant and catch the ball. I was just like, "Woo, a slant!" I was like, I was pumped up, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think the offense is gonna be fun to watch. I think we're gonna score some points, man. I think we're gonna be good, and I think the defense is gonna be nasty, man. I like that we got Javancy on the sideline. Got him back in the fold. Thoughts on Javancy joining the staff?
Man, absolutely loved it. I mean, when the announcement first came out, I was the one that probably sent that to because Javancy was coming in. I think my senior year, he was a freshman or a sophomore. We're like 2 or 3 years apart.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to just kind of witness him while I was at Jackson State and when I was going into my master's program. And dude, yeah, he was different. And then even in his resume to see what he was doing in his high school program, like I was like, man, let's go ahead and bring him into the family, man. Like, so I think it's an amazing fit. I love keeping it in-house, especially with players that had the level of impact that Javancy did. So I loved it, man, and I'm excited to see him on the sideline this year.
Good deal. T, you got anything? I got one more question I want to ask. I want to get your honest take on game day ops, man. You've been to several games. What was your thoughts on the vibe in the stadium at home games, man? You can be honest. It's all good. It's late. Everybody's asleep now. So paying attention.
I think we have to be careful about getting too far away from who we innately are.
Yeah.
It's like I think we were trying too hard to innovate. And in that process of trying so hard to innovate, we got away from some of the traditionalism that made us who we are. So with that in mind, man, bro, you got to understand, like, and I can attest to this because I was him up until maybe a little before Dion. I was the person that came to the football games for the band. I didn't care what was going on the field. So it's like so many people are coming for that attraction. So when you kind of alleviate, take away from the level of impact they have on the game they experience, you know, it just kind of throws off the whole vibe. Now, another thing I liked it, and I don't even know who the announcer was. I can't remember her name. She was good.
Shelby.
A placement. Like we've got to do better at where we place her and what she's doing when.
Yeah.
That was my opinion with that.
Expand on that. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
And I'm trying to remember that as best as I could, but like I said, man, it was kind of taken away from who we are authentically as JSU. So it's like it was several occasions where we know at this point, this is when the band plays, we came to play.
Yeah.
And it's like, band, be quiet so she can announce some stuff. What? No.
Yes. Thank you.
No, like let's put her somewhere else and let the band be the band right now. Like,
don't do that to her, man. She's too good of a person to put her in that in the lion's den like that, man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know her, and she's amazing at what she does.
Yeah.
Like she's a phenomenal announcer. I
She
love.
does a great job at the basketball games. Yeah.
I absolutely love her, but it's just like for the football things, I know we try to innovate in the name of dismantling traditions, but it's just some traditions make us who we are.
That's correct.
So yeah, game day operations. But I think we kind of progressively got better as the season went on.
I don't.
Yeah. that very first home game, I was like, no, it's too much going on, bro.
Yeah, bro. I don't think we progressively got better in that at all. I think I thought we progressively got annoying. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to be no whatever. I don't care about that. I ain't giving no disclaimers. Y'all, they know how I feel about that. Everybody know how I feel about that. Shelby is yeah, bro. I'm cool with the field. I understand what they were trying to do. You know who really did a really good job of that when we went to the Texas State? They had all kind of stuff going on, but you would hear someone on the mic, and they'll show them on the screen because they had like a camera tune in to them, but they weren't really on the field, just kind of in the midst of that. I thought that was a really good way of putting that. What she did, it was very bad placement. Mr. Nolan, I'm so confused on what you're saying. How do you find it? You're taking about. I don't even know what you're talking about, man. It's late over there, huh? Anyway, we'll see what happens, man. I like the zero. The zero quarter need to be zero quarter. I just think in that time we have to give time and placement for that aspect of that, and just let. That's true. The Texas State does not have the sonic boom. That's a great point, 30 May. You're absolutely right. And I just think the profile of the boom, I think we all can agree to that. Your thoughts on the boom, the year that they had, historic year. Thoughts on that?
Man.
Close this thing out.
Listen, man, the boom, Dr. Little is doing a phenomenal job. And I think that's something we also have to consider. Like I was saying, the boom is a huge aspect or a huge part that's like woven in the fabric of that Tiger DNA. And like, man, I know we have, the snazzy announcements, and listen, y'all, familiarity is a thief of appreciation. Like we can become so familiar and common with something that it kind of depreciates the value that we allot to that thing. So with that in mind, we devalue the reality that the boom is nationally syndicated. Like they are known all over
music, bro.
Huh?
Apple Music.
Yeah, well, they are known all over the United States. Like the swagger, the aura, the mystique that they carry when they perform, people come to witness that. Like, and I know this is a football game, it's football season, but Jackson State is a unique place. Like we excel and we pursue things in excellence in everything that we do. So it's like we've got to leave room for that. So, like, I agree in that regard, Ken. We got to let the zero quarter be the zero quarter. I understand during the game, and I actually got a chance to witness that from a different standpoint. I used to be the one that was mad when they was telling the boom to be quiet during the game because it's like they turned us up. But actually being on the field this year and in the huddles, it's like, yeah, the coaches have a hard time communicating what they're trying to convey because the boom be cranking up there. So seeing it from a different perspective is like, okay, I get it now. So, you know, with that in
when
mind,
the ball is in play, man, we can't be blown. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Yeah, we can't be.
And I don't want them getting us a penalty either.
Oh yeah.
Or
This is a final warning. If you play while the other team has the ball in play.
See, these sound like the ref on the mic.
Yes.
Will the band please not play when the ball is in? When the team is under,
That's it, man. So I love it, man. I hope we maintain the things that have made us authentically us, while also innovating our game day experience in a way that is conducive for the majority. Because you'll never please everybody, but yeah,
absolutely. Oh, there she go. I didn't know where you went. You just disappeared. I thought you got mad at me. I said, "Damn, we ain't let Michelle get in there." She was like, "You know what? I'm out."
No, I was trying to do this at log in to my StreamYard, and when I log in, it took me totally out of the system. I'm like, don't do this while you live because you practicing wrong.
All right, man. Hey, man, this has been a treat. Anything that we didn't touch on that you possibly want to add to get ready to close us out? We got about 5 minutes. While we're doing that, I do want to take the time right now to make sure that we acknowledge our channel sponsors. Doing a good job with that. Huge shout out to Cannon Toyota of Vicksburg, being one of our official channel sponsors. Shout out to Billy and Clay and Greg and the whole crew down in Vicksburg at the Cannon Toyota of Vicksburg. Looking to do a schedule signing down there with a couple of our brand ambassador football athletes working on that event and the date. So definitely appreciate them. Also appreciate this. Got a call from Brother Timothy Poe today. Definitely ramping up some opportunities there with us with this partnership. So listen, if you're in the market for a vehicle, you're local in the city of Jackson, you can go to www.automasters06.com, check out the inventory. They can get any vehicle you're looking for. Give Terrence or Tim a call, 601-927-7794. And make sure you guys let them know that you saw their information through KC-1400 Media, because they'll have some special stuff as a result of that. And they're also working on a referral program. So great conversation with them today. And just was an outstanding conversation. And then last but not least, before we get ready to do that, oh, wait a minute, I see it. Oh, yes, you. Hey, we want to welcome Jason, channel.
Oh, that pops up. I didn't know that was gonna pop up.
Yeah, appreciate the channel members. No, it's all good. We appreciate that, brother. Hey, I'll say this.
That's you, man. I wonder who that looking like. What was the guy named Tyrese, the model, the actor guy?
I thought you were going to say Tevin Campbell. No, that's a joke, man.
Yeah.
Can we go?
Ken, I really do think, and I try to always practice this. I talked about that concept of faith and works.
Yep.
So I would believe it to be foolery, and I would believe it to be asinine if I sat on here and talked so much about us revolving the dollar in our community, us investing in our own, and I'm not a member of this channel. So I wanted to do that real quick, just to kind of express my support, man. And of course, I'll keep donating when we're doing initiatives and things of that nature. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate this platform.
Thank you. This platform is great. There is no Ken without a TD, without Zoe, without Rochelle, without Nook, and without the supporters. Listen, man, we ain't done nothing. It's been a us thing. not a me thing, a he thing, or she thing, but a us thing. And then that's the thing. Now, I will say this: the thing that we are really working towards, more than anything, Jason, is a continue to grow the strength in a collective manner, where we do have a KC-1400 Media Collective that we have. Now, I want to say this because we are going to look to do that. I'm looking at putting together an event, and basically fundraiser / NIL conversation, where it's going to allow us to sit down with some real players in the city and those that would like to invest in what we're doing. Because of course, school can't really do NIL like that. But at the same time, that ain't got nothing to do with what we got going on, because we can easily do what we do. We do have a brand. We're looking to do that. And with that, I do want to, while we have you here, I want to take the time to, again, acknowledge our new brand ambassadors for the channel. We definitely we just partnered with some track athletes. Huge shout out to Davion Center, track, Lillian Trey Dudley, Vincent Wilson. These are all not Olympic, but these are all SWAC gold medalists. Erica Gary and Jaya Clayton. And we got another one coming down the pipe. He wasn't present at the time, but I wanted to do that while we had you on before we get ready to close it out. And just once again, just acknowledge our ambassadors, along with Irv Mulligan, Isaiah Spencer, our 2 football ambassadors. I do have a vision and a dream to expand into other sports. We're looking to go into the baseball space, the softball space, bowling, tennis, volleyball. We want some representation. Definitely men's and women's basketball, and all sports. So, but you can't do that without the support of those donors and those that are looking to be a part of this thing. Because what we do too much in our community and over here, we talk too much and we don't really do nothing. We do a whole lot of talking about, it's a lot of great ideas, but you got to put some of that stuff to work, man. You got to act on it. And then all I would just challenge us to do is that when we come to you with this great idea, love us enough to be willing to invest, because we don't make nothing out for this. This ain't got NIL mean the athlete get to shine. What better way to keep your athletes than to go to them and show them that you appreciate them? When we put together something as a collective unit, we can go and we can compensate our athletes in a way that other schools are, and we make them Randy, your channel member again. What's up, bro? He back in the green. Randy had to make sure he said something, Rochelle, since you was on here, by the way. But anyway, Jason, I wanted to I don't leave that alone. I wanted to say that while you was on the screen and let you get ready to close us out, and let TD and Michelle say they'll say their piece, and we'll go from there, man.
I just want to say, Jason, I have purchased my stuff, but I'm going to ask Ken for your phone number, because while I'm going to Atlanta tonight. I leave tomorrow. It may be delayed, but I'm asking y'all to pray for me. I'm going back to Atlanta
Prayers for sure.
to bury my nephew,
Yeah.
my niece's husband. So I got a one-way ticket. I don't know how long I'm going to be there. She's 39 with a 6-year-old, and this is my brother's oldest daughter, and she buried my brother 3 years ago. So I'm just asking y'all for prayers, but I have that free time. I want to check your schedule that we can have a tete-a-tete offline, because I'm excited about your book. I got my shirt. I got my necklace. Yeah, I got all that. So then we'll have a conversation offline, if it's okay with you.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'll shoot it to you.
Thank you. I enjoyed you tonight.
T Dizzle.
Kitty is on you.
Oh, thank you. Safe travels, Rochelle. In situations like that, remember, there's only so much that we can do, but sometimes our presence and not saying anything is more than enough. Jason, I want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for sticking with us the full time, the ride. Thank you for thoroughly answering all of our questions, enlightening the audience as well as us. I pray that God continue to use you in the way that you said He prophesied you for, to use you when you was 8 years old. Continue to do His work. Continue to do His will. Continue to bless people whether they want to hear it or not. That's that goes for anything, any situation. So again, I pray that you continue, just as your career continues to blossom and that you continue to take some of those young students that you have at Tougaloo, some people who may be watching this channel, young and old, and that you would, something that you said may lift them out of a drag or a state that they're in, to enlighten them, to show them that there's a better way. So continue to let your voice be heard, man. I appreciate you. Hopefully I get a chance to meet you sometime soon. And definitely hope that this is not the last time that you will appear on the show. So you have blessed me, and I hope that you continue to grow, man, and be a beacon of light for someone else.
Most definitely, man. I appreciate that, TD.
I don't like going behind TD. He always do that. And I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna just
thank you.
No, it's all good. Look, man, Jason, bro, appreciate you, man. I really do. I think there'll be some opportunities. I'll be calling, man. I'll just say that because I know that anytime this ain't a one-time thing, you can come up as often as you need. Use us, man. This platform is open, free of charge, man, to come up if you need to share something. If God puts something on your spirit if you see that, hey, make it happen. Hit us up. We'll definitely love to join the conversation. You always, a lot of times you tune in anyway, you join it, but we definitely wanted to have you on in the feature there because I really hope everybody go buy the book. The link is in the chat. I pinned it to the page. Go grab that book, go purchase it, buy all his copies. And then let's digest the content, man. Like you said, it's not only just a book, but it's 21 stages to that thing. You know what I mean? And I had the number right, 21. I think this was. Yeah. Some relevance to that too. 21 days to build a habit. Coach Prime had that down.
Come on, somebody. Yeah, you in there, kid.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
That's when that second eye flashed on that third trip. That's you know what I'm saying? 7 times, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'll just say, man, I appreciated this time. I appreciated everything. Like I said, you're definitely a beacon of light, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Heal up. But most importantly, man, just continue to be, an example, a bright and shining example, man. So look, it's been a treat. I know Rochelle said she finna fly, but I'm about to do the same thing. I'm actually gonna take a red eye in like 3 hours heading to the crib so I can be there tomorrow. So
man.
Hopefully I can get me some rest. I don't sleep on the plane well, so got a full day, but that's the when duty calls, man, that's how we get down. So I don't have nothing else. I got to pack and
I do.
What you got?
Come on,
I just went to the Jason website, man. I don't appreciate this this product that I'm looking at being out of stock.
I know.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's out of stock. Yeah.
Oh, hey, we need grown man sizes out there, sir.
Yeah, man.
Gotta get something for the big boy. See, we know you be shopping in the Express and all that. I used to get in the Express stuff.
Yeah, I like that grown man size.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm gonna get back in there one day.
Look, dog, for real though, TD. Because I was putting so much attention to the book in the last like 6 months, I didn't restock a lot of items on the clothes side. But I'll be looking to restock a lot of things when I get into a good groove, probably around this summer. But I mean, it's still plenty on there, man.
Yeah, because your guy's daughter set is out, but I just wanted the guy's daughter shirt. You got the guy's son. I was like, I'm gonna talk to you offline.
Oh yeah,
find some on that thing with a 2X on it, man.
Hey, you got some 2X on.
There's some 2X on it.
Hey, I'm just telling you.
Hey, he don't have no short sleeve though, man. It's all.
But listen, man, I did want to. Well, for me in closing, man, I did want to appreciate all of y'all again. Like Ken said, I'm a faithful watcher. I'm always on here. So, man, I just appreciate y'all for doing what y'all do. Not only for Jackson State, but for the HBCU community. Like y'all are the pilot. Like y'all have done something that I'm sure other institutions, other organizations are looking at as a metric by which they can do this for their institution. So keep going. I did, if you don't mind, Ken, man, I would like to pray with and for y'all before I get off here, if you don't mind. Anything particular? I know, Rochelle, like I got yours, your family, safe travels. Ken, you traveling tomorrow. Anything else particular?
Man, just however God moves you, man. We'll roll with that.
Okay, bet. I'll pray real quick. I promise y'all, I'm not a Baptist preacher. I'm not long-winded. I'm not long-winded. I'm not long-winded when I pray. I tell God what I'm trying to get to him, and then I say amen. But yeah, let me pray real quick. Father, thank you so much for one, allowing us to wake up this morning. God, we love you so much, and we can truly attest to the reality that we are nothing without you. So, Father, we declare that it's in you that we live, we move, and we have our being, and it is from you that we do everything that we do. So, Father, I want to pray for Rochelle right now. Father, I just ask that you would lift up and encourage her family. Just ask that you be their strength where they are weak. Father, as they are going through this grieving process. But Father, you said that your strength is made perfect in our weakness. So Lord, I just ask that they would tap into that divine and supernatural strength to navigate through this season. God, I pray for her safe travels as well. And I pray for Ken as well. Lord, I just ask that you would give him safe travels in 3 hours. And Lord, I just ask that you would continue to endow him with insight and wisdom and new creativity, new innovations. And I pray that same prayer for each and every one of these individuals. I lift up TD to you. Father, I just ask that you would touch his family. I just ask that you would touch everything he puts his hands to. And Lord, I just ask that you would continue to be a light in and through him. So Father, for this platform, for KC-1400, for Tiger Talk, for this platform that you have given them, God, I just ask that this would just be the beginning, that you would continue to give them new insights, new innovations, continue to give them new resources, tap them into things that they know not of yet. And Father, I just ask that as they continue to do this work for this university, but even further for you, God, I just ask that you would continue to broaden their impact. And Lord, I just ask that many people would get a gander of who you are through what they do. And God, I give you glory for it. In Jesus' name, I do pray. Amen.
Amen. You're ashamed to own me before man, I'll be ashamed to own you before my Father.
Oh, come on, man.
That's Deacon TD. That's Deacon.
That's outstanding, man. I won't try to add nothing to that, man. That's a great way to close us out. But before we do go, we'll all go together. I do want to acknowledge new channel member, Brother JTV Vids. Thank you. Appreciate the membership. Hey, I got a challenge for somebody out there. Brother EA, as often as you come to patronize the channel, I'm gonna ask Brother EA that he become a channel member. You know what I'm saying? I like the commentary in the chat, but I need you to put your money where your mouth at, player. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm picking on him. He's a good brother, man. He always pull up and support. But yeah, become a channel member, man. It allows us to do what we do. We ain't going nowhere no time soon, you know, unless God say so. But we've been charged to do what we do, and we're gonna continue to keep it steady, keep it rolling, man. I appreciate you, brother. I'll see you soon, man. I gotta get in, man. We're gonna call it a night. It's like we always say, it's DEI love. Go Tigers, baby.
Love. And bring the pop hands to the game. Make some noise.
Peace out, everybody. All right now.
All right, y'all.